Yo, it's your boy CT Crusher here checking in. Just wanting to remind y'all to go subscribe to my homie Hoodie Jube for the Hoodie Jube live podcast. We talking pressing topics here for you every night of the week. Hit that ding dong bell to make sure you don't miss an upload. Come join in on the conversation. Help us expand the community. We do a lot of giveaways, give away to a lot of charities, giving away to the local children's hospital. And oh, by the way, if you want a chance to win free NFL tickets, yes, I said that, free NFL tickets, make sure you subscribe and hit the ding so you don't miss a chance to win free NFL tickets. Peace out.
To the Super Bowl, talking black and gold. Cameron Jordan on the field, about to take a QB soul. Ever Kamara break a tackle, so you know he bold. Mike Thomas catching everything, so you know he cold. The defense elite, D. Davis coming through the line. Boy, take a seat, let him more in the backfield, so you know that's me. He talking Byron Matthew, he talking Marcus May. We in the backfield, we gon' make a pay. Them boys hitting hard, they need an X-ray. Yeah.
Hoodie Jube! What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Hoodie Jube, and we back with another live podcast. And if y'all don't know, y'all will know. There's no YouTube without your boy Hoodie Jube, y'all. How is everybody doing today, man? Me, I'm doing just fine, man. Off today, and guess what? We're about to have a fun one right here, y'all. A fun one, yes. You know why? Because our co-host today that we have on to help us talk with my boy Arthur Jameis 101, man, is no other than the who? The Nola Bros. Well, let's introduce the first one, and then I'm going to let him introduce the second one, because if I said insider, it would be horrible compared to what Till does. So let's bring on the one, the only, the main man that I remember from the Nola Bros, Till, the legend.
Ow! What's up, Hoodie? Hey,
What
your
up?
time is now. Yeah, your time is up. My time is now. One time. What up, Hoodie? What's up, family? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Appreciate you having us on. What's up, Hoodie, baby? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Ready to chat it up with you. Ready to chat it up with Insider and my boy Jameis 101, man. Ready to hear and what Mr. Jameis 1 got to say, because I know my boy Jameis is ready to take it off the season and make everybody look stupid. So
you did.
With that being said, bring on my boy. I know you got to introduce him because I can't.
I got one time for our guy, your bro. One time for the vegan assassin, your guy, Insider.
What's up with it, Hoodie?
What up?
Thanks for having us on, brother. Thanks for having us on again, man.
My brother L.
No problem, man. No problem, man. It's gonna be a fun show. Like I said, it's gonna be Hoodie Jube with the Nola Bros. Who? Jameis 101, baby. So guess what? We might as well bring him on as well. Let's introduce him. Let's give him a good introduction. Y'all ready? He is the author of the book Jameis Winston, Derangement Syndrome. Because if you do have derangement syndrome, you probably do if you think Jameis Winston sucks. And that's why he wrote this book. He tells you the facts. He'll tell you the truth. And he'll tell you how good these quarterbacks really are, especially Jameis Winston. So here he comes. The author of the book, Jameis 101, baby. How you doing?
Real good.
One.
We're not worthy.
I'm happy to be here, guys.
Yes, indeed.
I told Jameis 101 Hill, I said, hey, I'm going to have some co-hosts today, the Nola Bros. I said, you ever heard of them? He was like, no, not really, never heard of them. I said, well, guess what? Just know they the hype people. They keep you hyped all through their videos. And he put fire emojis, so he's ready,
We definitely the juice boys of it. We definitely bring the energy, passion, and the facts, man. So good to be on here with you, Jameis, man. It's awesome, man. Go ahead, Hood.
Yes, sir. So I do want to give a shout out to everybody real quick, and then we're gonna start talking to Jameis 101. And asking him some real questions, man. And I already know he's gonna answer with some good answers, man. I love it. I love talking to Jameis 101. I think last time we talked, I had maybe 500 subs at the time. Now we at 1,200, I think.
Man, yes indeed.
Hey,
Keep going.
Jameis 101 has been a while, brother.
Yeah, that's good, man. 500 to 1,200. That's awesome. It's awesome.
It's only been like 3 months too. It's only been about 3 months, I think. But we're growing over here. But who that to Mr. Jerry, the old freaking G in the building? I see you.
Jerry. What up, Jerry, baby? Shout out to J. OG. JT. What up, JT? What up, man?
JT, he said blessing.
Yes,
blessing
indeed.
To you, JT, man. We got my boy, the right man. Who that to you?
Shout out to D Right. What up, D Right?
Eric Wallace. Who that to you?
Shout out to her, Eric. What up?
Official Young Nola, the one that made the song for you.
Oh, my time is now. Yeah. My time is now, Toto.
You can't see me.
I like that.
We got Mush Dog. We got my boy Mush Dog. Who that? We got Philly tuning in to hear how good it is.
So let's get that dub on that dude.
Who that Dana in the building? Who that to you? Who that Dana?
What up, Dana?
Oh, Philly. Let me find out you a secret Saints fan now. Let me find out.
He let us say. Philly let us say.
It's in his blood. That's why.
Yeah, he let us say. Shout out to Philly, man.
Who that to Bailey Atkinson? Jameis is the GOAT. You damn right, Jameis.
Yes, indeed. Talk to him, man. Talk to him.
Talk to him. What else we got up in here? Okay, we got St. John Butler, man. Who that to you?
Shout out to St. John.
Pick it and flick it.
Pick it and flick it.
We got Mr. Lester. Who that to you?
Lester.
And
I know a guy named Lester.
And Jasper. Who that to
Jasper?
you?
Jasper. Look at my dog Jasper. What up, Jasper?
So who that to everybody that just tune in to
who that
y'all,
man.
But let's get the show started with our man Jameis 101, man. And Jameis 101, I had a really good question for you because you know the media has to be the media, and they gotta still trash talk Jameis Winston like always. But you know when they find a story that they can talk about, especially about Jameis Winston being at that quarterback position, they had to come up with the story and saying, "Oh, Jameis Winston with the limp. Should the Saints be worried about the limp?" I mean, what was your thoughts when you seen the media just trying to bring in with the limp? Like, we know the man's still coming off an injury. He's not trying to put too much on his knee right now. It's only OTAs. So, I mean, what was your thoughts when you seen that Jameis 101?
Yeah, that kind of cracked me up. I was talking with Underhill about that, right? Because that was his report. That was Nick's report.
Yeah.
And I love Nick. I love the work he does. Mm-hmm. And it kind of cracked me up that, even Cowherd ran with that, right? Like all the big talking heads kind of ran with that. Nobody reached out to Nick. Nobody reached out and asked him about, what his real opinion was of it or exactly what he meant by that before they just ran with their own narrative. Yeah. So I think that kind of frustrated Underhill. I found it funny, because that's just what the media does. Had Underhill wrote an article and said Jameis looked great and threw a 55-yard bomb, the media would have ignored that.
Right. Exactly.
But he used one word that they could latch onto and spin a narrative on. And then to see, that people actually use that to spin the narrative that, they should go after Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G.
Colin Cowherd went so far with it, right? Did you see that take? He talking about we need Baker Mayfield because Jameis got a little limp. I'm like, where's he going with this? Like, this is terrible. Yep. I hated all 8 minutes of it. Go ahead.
And everybody knows Cowherd Everybody knows Cowherd hates Mayfield. Well, he hates Jameis more, and that's proof. I mean, come on, like they both
put them on the same
team. Quarterbacks played in the exact. Yeah, both of those quarterbacks played in the exact same system, just 1 year apart. Jameis in 2018 was with Todd Monken. The very next year, Todd Monken moved over to Cleveland and was with Baker Mayfield. Jameis finished top 5 in raw QBR with Monken. Baker was like 23rd in the NFL. Like, and Cowherd knows how to get a hold of Monken. He's not that difficult to get a hold of. You can get a hold of him and talk to him off the record and say, hey, who's better, Jameis or Baker? It'll take him 2 seconds. Like, come easily. There's no comparison.
Lazy work. Clickbaits and lazy work, man. Lazy work, exactly. That's just crazy. The disrespect, man, that they just Baker Mayfield, the limp. I saw it exactly. Nick did get pissed off because right after that, he made a video about it and said, it's nothing to worry about. I don't know where y'all getting at, but not exactly. Instead of just commending the man of the hard work he putting in OTAs after that type of injury. You go to, oh, he has a limp. Of course he has a limp after he's coming in surgery, but the fact that he's out there and doing what he's doing with those guys is so major and key for this team, man. And shout out to Jameis. The respect level just goes up and up, man, like the true leader he is. So, man, that's what they should have been talking about. What he doing.
He have a big ass brace on.
Exactly.
Like this is first time really working with a brace on his leg. So of course, like he probably be limping sometimes. You see him on camera, not all the time. Obviously, he taking dropbacks, planting, throwing the ball with force and with power, with accuracy. So what are y'all talking about this limp? He got a new brace on. Get a man a chance. Come on, man.
I don't know, man. He said, like you said Kyle Hurts hates Baker and then Jameis. He won't put them both on our team. Sound like he hate the Saints too. Sound like he hate us too. So I don't really listen to those type of guys because they really don't know what's going on. I feel like it's just sensational pieces, the clickbait, basically just to jump on there and just to discredit the Saints. I feel like every question or every check, every box is being checked off. I thought with the Saints, we can go from offense, defense, special team, everything else, and now you're putting a cloud. Or we don't know what Jameis is gonna be, but how you don't? You got enough from him. 5-2, where we should have been. I say 6-1, at least 6-1, 7-0. If we have a decent kicker, at Kenny Stills' touchdowns account, Adam Troutman. But we're going to do good this year. But, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff that you see, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, you didn't see enough? Okay, well, go ahead.
And they didn't see that Sean Payton held them back the Giants game. They stopped throwing the ball at one point.
With 11 completions in a row.
They stopped throwing the ball. So
stopped throwing the ball.
I don't think Pete going to do that. So they better be ready for a whole new Jameis. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely, man. And Jameis 101, man, I wanted to ask you, because you remember when I had you on the show before, this was before the draft, before anything happened, before we signed anybody, and everybody was still saying, I don't see them, trusting, I don't see them believing in Jameis Winston. I think that's why they're trying to push for Deshaun Watson. And we had that conversation on the show. Now that the whole, basically off season, basically with the draft and them drafting Chris Olave, a young stud that's going to be great in this offense. You hear Michael Thomas is fully back, healthy, ready to go. And then you bring in a guy like Jarvis Landry and all that. You go get Trevor Penning in the draft as well. So you basically stocking up on offense, and they passed on, Deshaun decided to go to Cleveland with the big money. This is showing you that, yes, the New Orleans Saints do believe in a man, especially paying a guy a 2-year contract, worth up to $20-something million, like guaranteed already, coming off a torn ACL, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me was the trade that they made, right? Getting that second first-round pick, giving up the first-rounder next year. Next year is a loaded draft class for quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, there's a lot of scouts, and there's a lot of people in the scouting community that think that could be like an all-time type draft.
Right.
And for the Saints to just say, yeah, we're not even going to be in that. We're just giving up our 2023 number one. Sure, and then to use both their first rounders on non-quarterbacks. Like the entire media, right when that trade was made with the Eagles, said, oh, okay, well, the Saints are getting their quarterback in the draft. And I tweeted out that day how happy I was with the trade, because I knew what was going on behind the scenes. I tweeted out that day how happy I was with the trade, that this was all to help Jameis, to set up Jameis for success. Right. And I had I can't remember his name. He's with Pro Football Network, Tony something, I think. And Trey Wingo, like they kind of lost it on me. Trey, like, told me I was delusional and the Saints were done with Jameis. And I was like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, you have no sources inside the organization. You're just spitballing. You have no idea what you're talking about. Talk to Michael Thomas's uncle, right? Talk to Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn, right?
And he could, he confirmed it later. But so that trade, I think, says everything you need. I think that trade says a lot more even than what the contract does, because to have 2 first-round picks, and then, it isn't even like they missed. It's not like they missed on Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett. They had 2 chances to draft both guys, and they said, nope, we're good. We're good. So they passed up every quarterback in the draft twice, and they gave up their first round next year in a loaded quarterback draft. That's all for Jameis. Like, they are all in on Jameis. Now, maybe they're not all in on Jameis the way Cleveland's all in on Deshaun. We'll see how that goes. But they're all in.
Hey, and you know what? To piggyback off that, do you think this is, I say, the best offense Jameis have been a part of are going to be this upcoming year with all the weapons, Alvin Kamara, and then you can add on special teams and having a top 5 defense to go along with that. Do you think this is the best situation Jameis has ever been in right now, next year, coming up, this upcoming season?
Yeah, in the NFL by far. I think this is by far the best situation he's been in the NFL. I think, I think he would probably tell you that this is reminding him of Florida State. Like that's when he had a legit squad, right? And he won 26 straight games, a national title, BCS,
slanging that thing too.
Exactly. And so, I mean, he never had anything like that in Tampa. The most loaded squad he had in Tampa was 2019. They actually had the best record he had in 2016. They were terrible. They had no run game at all. He had Mike Evans and basically nobody to throw to.
2016, he was the MVP candidate. Was it? Sorry about that. Was the MVP candidate 2016?
Yeah, going in towards the end of the season, he still was. Yeah, and they went 9-7. They had a playoff worthy record. They lost on a tiebreaker, right? So that was the best record wise. 2019, they had more talent, but it was that first year with Arians. A lot of wide receivers were running the wrong routes. Meanwhile, Jameis has got his own issues with Arians, like every quarterback does in the first year. But with the Saints, he's going into a third year with them. This is his third year with Pete Carmichael. Ronald Curry's still there. I see a lot of continuity. The guys they lost, they replaced. I mean, like that's impressive. When I saw that they were going to lose Terron Armstead, Marcus Williams, and Malcolm Jenkins, I was a little bit worried.
Right.
To replace Marcus Williams and Malcolm Jenkins with Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May, holy cow! I mean,
upgrade.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
and first round draft pick. Bro. Shout out to our front office, man. That's what separates us from everything, man. That's why we always in contention, man. And we that team because, like you said, we upgraded the defense. Like Marcus Williams. We went and got, and I know a lot of people don't know, we was looking at Marcus May in the same draft as Marcus Williams. If we went and got Marcus Williams, we was getting Marcus May.
Right.
And so we got him. And then, like you said, we bring the local kid, 7-wall finest, Tyrann Mathieu, back to the city, the Honey Badger. Man, it didn't draft a first-round pick in a left tackle, big nasty, Mauler. And then Michael Thomas coming back. And then you draft Chris Olave. And then you get Jarvis Landry. Man, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And listen. This I haven't even mentioned Alvin Kamara, one of the best top 5 running backs in the league. Top 5 running back. Now you got a top 5. Do you see the disrespect they're giving our receiving core? Like, we're not even mentioning like top 5 receiving core. They like got us in like, I don't know. I don't see us in the top 5. I see combinations and what people need to go into when you grade these. Yeah, I see that's cute 1 and 2, but can you go 3? Do you have a big 3? Because right now, we have a big 3.
But
and I'd even add like Marquez Callaway. I mean, he struggled as a wide receiver 1, but now he's a wide receiver 4. He could torture the guys lined up against him.
The short slot corners. Oh, damage.
People don't know that, bro. Like, people don't know. He did numbers and out of position. We was excited if Michael was coming back. Michael Thomas was coming back because everything slides back down. You know what I'm saying? Callaway go for number 2 or whatever. But you put him, like you said, at receiver number 4. Man, that's money. That's money. And OTA's been talking about Callaway. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go to any NFL team in the league. You find one with a 2-time All-Pro and a 5-time Pro Bowler on the other side, and then you tell me who's better. You ain't gonna find not one team with that combination
at all.
And if it's one team, it's probably one. It's just disrespect of Jameis Winston. That's what it is. And that's a problem, man.
And that's what you see. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
I was just going to say what else I love about the receivers for the Saints. They're not divas. Like Chris Olave is known as an extremely hardworking young man. Marquez Callaway is a pro's pro. Emmanuel Sanders testified to that. Jarvis Landry, the whole league loves him. Like, he doesn't have enemies anywhere, And Michael Thomas is a dog. So I mean, like, there's no divas. There's no guys out there that's just going to whine and have fits. So I love it because Jameis likes to spread the ball around, and he trusts his receivers more so than most quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, he'll give them shots at making plays. Right. Whereas, like, you watch Brady and Aaron Rodgers, they'll freeze guys out. They'll freeze guys out for multiple weeks. Like,
especially Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis will throw you the ball. You'll bobble it up into the air. It'll get picked. The next time he's get the ball, he's going right back to you.
Yeah.
I got you. We back.
And to add to that, Jameis Winston is one of the hard workers too. Like he works just as hard as Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry and those guys. So it's gonna all mesh well. And we know what Alvin Kamara do. Like he just AK.
I tell you one thing that was so beautiful to me that just made me feel so great and love Jameis even more. After we signed Jarvis, he get in the interview and he said the thing that sealed it for him was Jameis Winston. The conversations they had was the one that sealed him. He won't play for a guy like that. That told me a lot times whatever I knew already about Jameis. And just to say that I want to play with that guy, the 5-time Pro Bowler, I came to sign to play with him. He sealed the deal for me. He said, I told Mickey and DA. No, I told Mickey, but I'm going to tell you too, DA. He the reason why I'm here. So I got to shout out to Jameis, man. And like I said in the interview, he the last one on the field getting that work in after still recovering from his ACL injury.
And until he could have played with Dak, he could have played with Deshaun Watson, he could have played with he could have went play with Tom Brady probably.
Yeah,
but he chose to come play with Jameis Winston, and that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. You got to put that, mark that down. That counts for something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any other player in the NFL currently, and I don't know any quarterback in the history of the NFL where there's been such a vast difference between how players see the player and how the media sees the player.
Oh man, you're right.
Like, I mean, you can interview guys all around the league. I mean, they talked to Darius Leonard about Jameis. He just raved about him, right? I mean, like, and he's on the Colts. He's an All-Pro over there. I mean, you can talk, and receivers, they know each other, right? It's kind of a community. It's kind of a fraternity. Call up Mike Evans. Call up Chris Godwin. Ask him what Jameis does.
They love him.
Yeah, they love him.
I've heard it.
And both Godwin and Evans' numbers dropped with Brady. Yes, they got a ring, but they both went down.
Let them know. Let them know.
Listen, and I say this all the time.
All the time, hit them with it.
The reason why Tom went over there because of Jameis, what he did with them. What he did, he made both of them Pro Bowlers. Tom Brady wasn't going over there if them boys wasn't Pro Bowlers. Them tight ends didn't look good. It was Jameis Winston gave them boys them numbers up there, made them look good, got them paid. Paid.
And let me tell you this, O.J. Howard was a problem for Jameis because Jameis like a little safety blanket that he gonna throw to a big tight end that he like to get the ball to over the middle and down in the middle area. And O.J. Howard dropped so many passes, bro. Stopped throwing routes, came across and didn't sit down. I watched it and I was like, get O.J. Howard out of there and they'll be all right. And the first thing Tom Brady did? Got his ass out of there.
You're right. You're right. And OJ is one of those guys, right? I mean, you see him out of pads, he's a monster.
Beast.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's got everything you'd think you'd want. He came out of college and they talked about him as a good blocker. It's just never clicked on the NFL level. I don't know why that is. I mean, he's with Buffalo now. Maybe it will, but yeah, he was disappointing. I mean, I was excited when they got him, although I wanted them to draft Dalvin Cook, and who knows what would have happened had the Bucs added Dalvin Cook with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Would be gone.
All right. Hey, real quick, James, I want to ask you, did the Bucs, because I think I heard it from you before, did the Bucs have a contract on the table for Jameis before they signed Tom Brady?
Yes, absolutely. They had a big contract ready for him. And that was sort of the issue, is that Jameis is loyal to a fault, right? Like I use that phrase a lot with him.
Yeah,
and so he waited them out. And it was really between Tampa for Brady or the Chargers. There wasn't a third team really in the mix. So had Brady chose the Chargers, Jameis would have signed a big-time deal with Tampa. Brady ended up choosing Tampa. The rest is history. But in the meantime, like the Raiders wanted Jameis. And they were led to believe that he was a buck. Like it was a done deal. He was going to be back with Tampa because the league wasn't taking Tampa all that seriously as a threat for Brady. And so the Raiders just backed off. They ended up signing Mariota as sort of a cheap deal. And he was just used kind of as a sixth man in basketball, right? Or a Taysom Hill type. But then, so Jameis waited it out. He just remained loyal to Tampa through the whole thing. Which, I mean, it's to his credit as a person. Of course, you could say that it hurt him, financially. It maybe hurt his career numbers as far as, he had to take that 1 year off. But that's the way he is. He's loyal to a fault.
He did it this year.
He did it with us.
He also did it the next year. The Bears were going to pay him more.
Yeah.
To leave the Saints, and that didn't happen. Right. He stayed with. He took New Orleans over The Raiders wasn't a real issue because they thought he was going back to Tampa, but then the Jags would have paid him big time. And even Diana Rossini at ESPN, she reported it. I was kind of surprised because I wasn't going to say a word, but she came out and said it, that his camp told the Jags, you can't pay enough. He's not going there.
He from Florida. No, he from Alabama. He played close to Jacksonville.
Right.
Close to Jacksonville, though.
Right.
So he could have got paid in 2020 and been starting immediately with the Jags. He had no desire for that. He went to the Saints. He willingly, took a backup job, wanted to learn from Breeze, wanted to be with Peyton.
Smart man.
The next year, he could have went with the Bears and had more guaranteed money and a starting role there. Again, no, I want to stay with Sean. Of course, Sean left, right? But I want to stay with Sean. I want to stay in New Orleans. And then the same thing happens this year. The Colts had the jet for him. I won't go into the back behind the scenes thing, but even Underhill, dropped an article about that. The Colts had a jet for him. They wanted him. It wasn't Matt Ryan. And Jameis's heart is in New Orleans. I
love it. Thanks for saying that. I love it.
And our heart with you, bro. We really love it. And it's crazy after going back to the original, after not taking the money. I mean, Tom Brady signing and screwing Jameis over, how that just hurted his character. Because if he would have signed that big deal, like you're saying, we wouldn't even be talking about the 33 for 30, because we don't even call it 30 for 30, because that's 3 touchdowns they shot them. The 33 for 30, they wouldn't even be talking about that. And we already know that backstory. Who no risk it, no biscuit. Every quarterback had their worst statistical season with him as interception. Peyton Manning, Carson Wentz, and Big Ben. We know it, but nobody looks at that. Nobody does that. But it's just crazy, man. And man, Jameis, you like us, bro. From people from New Orleans, we're resilient, bro. We're resilient. We like to overcome things, man. And just you're meant to be here. And I can't wait for the future. I think this is really going to be a special season for Jameis and the Saints, man. So I'm glad he's here, man.
It's all on his plate. It's all on his plate. It's all on Jameis. Jameis gonna take us where we need to be. It's all on him. He got all the pieces he need. He got the defense behind him. Special teams popping. His 3rd year in this offense. That's a blessing, because I don't think that ever happened, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, he went from Lovie Smith to Dirk Cutter. Then Monken took over.
Right.
And then it was Arians. Yeah.
So this is 3rd year with the same offense.
Yep.
Man, we should be chef kissing at the end. He should be kissing that trophy at the end.
1-on-1. What's your thoughts on Pete, man? Like, what you think? I know Sean gone, and I kind of stung it. I seen what you're saying a little bit about it, but I always called him. He's the third party. Like him, Drew Brees, and Sean Payton. They built this offense from the ground up. He threw a little weed at seasoning in it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pete, man. What's your thoughts on Pete?
Oh, I love Pete Carmichael. I'm thrilled that he stayed. There was talk that he maybe didn't want to be the OC anymore. He was kind of take a back seat, but I'm thrilled that he stayed. I don't expect there to be a drop off. I'll miss Sean. I mean, Sean was a great character on top of being a coach and a leader. He was just a great character, right?
Right.
He kind of fit the MO of the team. But I think DA has some of that too, and I think DA has a big time chip on his shoulder. I did another interview recently, and I was saying that I think the Vegas lines on the Saints are low, right? They're like 7.5 to 8 wins.
What an idiot!
It's kind of ridiculous.
What an idiot!
9 games last year, and
right
to me, like while the media is against the Saints, sort of, and low on the Saints because of Jameis, like right, they're kind of hatred for Jameis. I think Vegas is low on the Saints because of DA.
Yeah,
because Jameis was with the Saints last year and went 5-2, like you said, and the 2 losses. One was the COVID game, down 9 starters and 7 coaches, and the other one was the game Taysom Hill threw the pick in, not Jameis.
Yeah.
So
Adam Troutman missed the block. The Kenny Stills wide open to beautiful touchdown.
Jameis 1-on-1. You just reminded me. Jameis threw the touchdown. They called it back. He put Taysom Hill in the game, and Taysom threw
and guess what? Hey, guess what? Hold on, and finish your point, Dan. But see, when people talk about stuff with Sean, we gonna miss Sean. I ain't gonna miss that shit, Sean. I tell you that. I'm not gonna miss that. Sean caused us a lot of stuff because his ego. I got a trick for him. I'm gonna throw Taysom in there. He's gonna do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And but I think like with Vegas, I think they're really looking at DA as kind of the weak link because the defense is back. It might be even better. You know, Jameis is back and he only played basically 6 in one quarter games last year. So it isn't the roster. I think they're looking at DA going 8-28 with the Raiders, and they see this massive premium on Sean Payton. But what I would say is that the continuity is around the board. Right, Carmichael stays, Curry stays. They upgrade their offensive line coach with Marone, who's known as an offensive line genius. Their defensive coordinators with Richard and Nielsen and stuff, they basically stay. And so the injury history you don't think is going to be as bad as it was last year. So I really think Vegas is just looking at DA as this weak link. And what I would say is look at the rosters that DA had. Right. What coach? I don't care if it's Belichick, Nick Saban, whoever. What coach is going to win a bunch of games with Terrell Pryor, who's really a wide receiver, starting at quarterback? Nobody.
Nobody.
Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin at one point or something.
Yeah, Matt McGloin. Yep.
It was horrible.
Not only is Jameis, but DA is coming into a situation like no other. He didn't get a job because this team sucks so bad. We fired the coach. The coach retired. You stepped down and you stepped into a core that you built, especially on the defensive end. You built that defense for years. People don't understand. The Saints went from a high-flying offense to a defensive team in the last 2 or 3 years. We've been preparing for this. So now you let the DA run the team. Run the whole team and in place, got the same 2 core defensive coordinators. Everything stays the same. All you got to do is turn the key, DA. Turn the key and cruise on up.
You know what it's about to be like? It's about to be like the situation Mike Tomlin was put in right after Bill Cowher. That's what it's going to be like.
Yes.
It wasn't no drop off. Soon as when Bill left, Mike was right there. Yep. Brought him right to the Super Bowl.
Hey, y'all, people ain't looking at this too, and I'm not going to lie to y'all. And I said on my podcast the other night, and I think Jameis 101 and the Nola Bros can agree with me. I think what they're looking at is that, okay, Sean Payton, future Hall of Fame, coach, automatically, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's gone. Drew Brees, Hall of Famer, gone. Yep. So they thinking, okay, well, that was the team. But they're not looking at the whole situation that Pete Carmichael's been there since Sean Payton's been there. He helped out, right? So they're not looking at that. They're not looking at the past few years, how defense been top 5 every year, and who's been running that? Dennis Allen. Who's been helping him? Ryan Nielsen. We brought in Chris Rizard. Right. He helped out that DB room. So we still got everybody in place. Right? Yep. But people are not looking at it. We don't have Sean Payton anymore. Correct. But guess what Sean Payton was doing? Oh, that undrafted player? Oh, yeah, I love my receiving core. That's the core. I love it. No. We're not playing that bullshit. We got a new coach in here. So guess what he does? I'm going to bring in those leaders, those football leaders that know what they're doing on the field, and Jarvis Landry and other people like that. Again, a really good player, Chris Olave, that knows how to play and can run smooth. And he's bringing in those people that straight out the check. So you got the veteran people that's going to lead those teams, that's going to lead those receiving cores for you, while we have just a new person calling, which is basically the guy that's right behind Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael. Instead of having Sean Payton calling the plays, having people undrafted playing. That's not elite. Right.
And DA had to think, when he was getting Jarvis Landry and looking for players, he had to think, like, what type of players give me headaches? What type of players would give me headaches if I had the coach against them? Like, if I was going against Jarvis Landry this week, like, he would give me a headache. So I need him on my team. I need to add him to my right. Chris Olave, he looked like he a headache.
Straight out the box.
With that speed, I can't wait to see Jameis with this.
The more highlights of Deontay Hardy running up the Green Bay. That's one of my favorite tie highlights going so far. And we got to give our hats off. Week 1, I don't know through what, because I don't know when Traquan came, but Jameis Winston had a receiving core full of undrafted free agents. Chris Hogan, who quit in the middle of the season. I'm going to get suspended. You know what? I retire. I'm done. I don't even want to deal with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, how he had our receiving
Hogan,
core
Montgomery,
man, come on,
Hill, Jawan Johnson, Marcus Callaway, Deontay Hardy.
6
Kenny
Stills. And he threw 14 touchdowns. Kenny Stills, we picked him off the street. Kevin White picked him off. Oh my goodness.
It's just tough, man. I said it was a tough year for us, man. And through all that, our biggest thing, if we had Jameis, through all them injuries, if we could have got Jameis back last couple of, we would have went to the playoff and won the Super Bowl. I don't even see. Listen to me. If we would have gotten in the playoff this year, we would have won the Super Bowl compared to these teams. These teams not really like that, Jameis 101. They not really like that. When I'm talking about from a offense, a defense, a special teams, we got it all on every level, all level. We have leaders on there. Every room, every level on that defense is stacked. It's stacked. That's how you win games. And you add in the firepower, man, DA and Jameis, because Jameis going to get either MVP or most comeback player of the year. DA, you might get coach of the year. Because guess what? It's about to be one of them years, man, when you got a defense like this and an offense with the weapons that we have and a special team. It's about to go. It's about to go.
And I believed it so much last year that before the season, I put $100 on Jameis to win MVP and $100 on the Saints to win the Super Bowl. I think I'm about to double down on that bet this year again.
Double down. What you waiting on? Hit me.
Yeah. What you waiting on? But Jameis 101, man, I wanted to ask you, when you seen the Saints, draft to do like Chris Olave and Trevor Penning, and you knew that like, hey, this all belong. You already knew this was gonna happen, right? We was gonna basically support Jameis and we believe in him. What is your thoughts on these players that they drafted so far? What is your thoughts on Chris Olave and I do like Trevor Penning?
Well, yeah, those are actually the two guys that I thought they would get. The day that they made the trade with the Eagles, I tweeted it was for a left tackle and wide receiver, like that day. And then a month goes by or whatever, and the media says that's insane, blah, blah, blah. But that's exactly who they got. Charles Cross is another guy that was high, but I always figured he'd be gone early. So Penny may not have been the number one left tackle on their board, but that was the realistic guy. Olave, though, I think a lot of media don't understand this either. Olave, I believe, and I think they'd back me up if they were asked directly, I think he was the absolute number one receiver on their board.
Yep.
Like, I know Garrett Wilson went ahead of him. That's kind of weird. I mean, Chris Olave was ahead of the depth chart of Garrett Wilson their entire time at Ohio State. Always. Like, Chris Olave was the guy at Ohio State. It wasn't Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson got drafted first. Drake London, right, got drafted ahead of Olave. But I think, even had the Saints had a higher pick, they would have spent it on Olave. They're not taking anybody ahead of him. Right. So
just a fit.
The Ross. Well, yeah, and I think he's like a legitimate pros pro. Like Drake London, he's got freakish size, but there's a lot of concern whether he'll be able to get off the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of concern whether he'll get any separation whatsoever. So, I mean, going to Atlanta, you got Mariota. I mean, he's kind of a terrible quarterback. So, the bigger body will help.
But is that coming from the Jameis Mariota beef that's been going on for a long time? Is that where that's coming from?
No. I love Marcus like as a young man, and I hope he does well. I've just even going back to Oregon, I never really believed in him as a quarterback. I always kind of looked at him as gimmicky, right? Like that was my thing. I called him even back in 2014 gimmicky game manager. I just kind of felt that's what he was. And I think, it's kind of proven to be right seeing him in the NFL. But I mean, I hope he can have success. He seems like a great young man, but yeah, there's concerns with Drake long-term as far as, being able to beat man coverage, things like that. And then Garrett he's small. Like he's very small and he's more of a slot guy. He played outside this year, but he's more of a slot guy. Olave he strikes me as kind of like a Marvin Harrison type where he does everything at a high level. He's an extremely good route runner. He's got great feet, great awareness. He just seems like a guy that you look at and say, if any of these wide receivers are going to have a 10-year NFL career, it's going to be him. Yeah. So I think he was number one on their list. But I'll say that as excited as I am about the roster for the Saints, I'm almost more excited about the character of the team. And what I mean about that is, like, Jameis is coming back from an injury, right? And for him, like, his magical season was stolen. Yeah. It was stolen from him. Yep. Last year was the best. Like, this year, I think the roster is even way better than it was last year. But last year was the best roster he'd had. And they were 5-2, like you said, could have been 6-1, 7-0 under different circumstances. And it was stolen from him on a dirty horse collar tackle. Yes, right? Man. Yes. And against his former team like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to PJ.
Yeah. And DA, DA had one shot, and then it looked like he was never going to get another one. He was considered kind of a bum of a head coach, 8-28, never going to get another shot, and now he gets to take over a great roster. And I think he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. Like, I got something for the league too. You want to judge me on not being able to win with Matt McGloin and Terrell Pryor? Well, I got a team now. Let's see what happens.
Real tough.
Jarvis Landry was kind of kicked out the door in Cleveland. Right, Tyrann Mathieu was kicked out the door in Kansas City.
I don't know why. They're crazy.
And then Michael Thomas, you basically haven't heard of him in 2 years. And the last time we saw him, he's the only wide receiver other than Jerry Rice to ever win Offensive Player of the Year back then. So he's an all-timer, and yet people forgot about him, right? And they insult him with the slant boy nonsense. Yeah. So I think you've got some legitimate dogs that are great individual players that also all have chips on their shoulders. I love it. I
love it. Hey, you got me hyped up, Jay. Hey, listen. Hey, thank you for caring and understanding our team and knowing all this stuff. Like, this is 100% facts. Like, this team, this culture, a bunch of underdog. Even with Jarvis, it's crazy. He was hurt and his quarterback was hurt, and people called him washed up. People called this man washed up, and it's just about to be, like you say. Listen, Jay, I hope you could come. Even you, I know you ain't gonna never reveal yourself, but man, you gotta catch out mini camp or training camp, because it's gonna be some fights and one-on-one battle. Not fights, but I'm talking about mental fights in there, man. I'm talking about from DBs to receivers to offense left. It's gonna be so competitive. Chips on their shoulder. It's gonna be awesome, man. We're gonna bring that fire this year. We're gonna bring that fire.
And to piggyback off that, I was telling Till, my biggest matchup I want to see is Trevor Penning could hold up against Davenport and Cam Jordan.
Like
Peyton Turner. Like, you have to prove that you can protect Jameis blind side. You have to prove it, because that's important. Because we know Jameis won't sling that thing. If Jameis got a chance to sling that thing, he gonna sling that thing. He ain't about to be like Trevor Siemian, keep backing up and let you sack. He about
one of the best play action
move in that pocket. He gonna move in that pocket and get to his spot so he could throw the ball. So Trevor Penning, we on your ass.
Yeah, man. And guess what? if he messing up, listen, Saints, don't be cheap. Pay Ryan Ramczyk. We know he got an incentive in his contract. If you move him from right to left, move his ass over there. Move him over there.
And put Hurst on the right side.
Put him over there. We ain't tripping, man. But no, that's a good point, man. But I can't wait to see what that fire they bring, bro, because it's gonna be competitive on all levels of the field, man. I can't wait, man.
And I think Olave was the smartest receiver in the draft. Like, he was the most well polished. He was the most advanced. He was the fastest, and he was definitely the smartest. And Jarvis Landry hinted to that in his interview. He was talking about how Olave is in his book. He know what he's doing, and he's definitely going to be a contributor. So that's credit to him, and that's credit to the front office. They know who their guy was, and they went and got him.
Yep. Hey, Jameis 101, I do have a question for you. And I think it would be a good question for you. So with Jarvis Landry actually, coming here and playing for the Saints, and him in his interviews lately saying the reason why I came here is because of Jameis, Winston. And then he goes on to the next one and said, yes, it was because of Jameis Winston, because of his leadership. And he's like, literally, I'm still trying to find a way to beat him to the field or beat him, off the field, but I can't. He's the first one there and the last one off the field. And what I do like that's loved all around the league, like Jarvis Landry saying stuff about that, about his own quarterback. And that's the reason why he came here. Do you see that opening up the doors for other star players like that to maybe come to the Saints in the future to play with a guy like Jameis, when he's still our quarterback?
Is that for me? My whole connection went off for 10 seconds.
Are you good?
Yeah. Okay. I can see you guys now, but for a second, I just saw 3 blank screens. So if you want to re-ask that real fast.
Oh yeah, you good. So the question was basically Jarvis Landry has came home to the New Orleans Saints, right? And him being that guy out there, like you said, he's nobody really hates Jarvis Landry. Everybody loves him out there. Even from different teams, they love Jarvis Landry. And that type of guy coming home basically and saying the reason why I came to New Orleans was because of Jameis Winston, right? He has that leadership, and to hear in the next interview that this happened, he said it's hard to beat the man on the field. It's hard to beat him to the field. It's hard to beat him, to stay on the field the longest. He's literally the first one there, the last one off the field. So do you think with that guy being beloved all around the league from all these different people, do you see that maybe opening the doors for other star players to say, I might want to come play for Jameis and see what it's all about?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think receivers all around the NFL, if you were to poll receivers and ask them, their views on Jameis, I think all of them pretty much would say he's an elite gunslinger. Like I don't know that there's any receiver, outside of some people would say maybe Deshaun Jackson, but even Deshaun, like even after Deshaun left Tampa, he was interviewed and he raved about Jameis. The issue there, from everything that I had heard, even just behind the scenes, and this isn't even coming from Jameis's camp, this is coming from media that were covering the Bucs, was that Deshaun just hated to practice. And Jameis is a practice Jameis is a practice maniac. I mean, like he wants to be out there all the time. He wants to work on timing with his receivers, everything. And Deshaun hated that. Deshaun, had been in the league 10 plus years and just didn't feel like he needed that. So, I mean, I can understand it from that perspective and stuff. Yep. But, I think Jarvis Landry is a workout warrior. I think Michael Thomas is a workout warrior. I've heard great things about Chris Olave's work ethic, Marquez Callaway, everybody. So I just see that, I think that the whole team just meshes really well, where I don't know that it did with Jameis in Tampa. Jameis, he comes from Florida State with a 26-1 record. He goes to a 2-14 team. That's the losingest professional sports franchise in North America in any sport.
Facts. Can you say that again one more time? Yeah, can you say one more time, please? What are they? What are they?
Yeah, the Buccaneers, when they drafted Jameis, they were the losingest professional franchise in any sport in North America. And Jameis comes in there 26-1 from Florida State, and he's basically asked to be the savior, to change the entire, everything about them. And basically that rookie year. And they went from 2-14 to 6-6. They were 6-6 and in the playoff hunt in Jameis's rookie year. And Quan Alexander got suspended for the last 4 games. Ooh. And the team kind of fell apart because Quan was kind of the heart and soul of that defense.
Yeah, he was a beast.
And so, but with the Saints, it's totally different. Like Jameis now, he came from a terrible organization with a losing culture, and he comes into a situation with an extreme winning culture, right? I mean, the Saints are one of the winningest franchises in the NFL over the past 15 years. So I think, I said it right then. I said, it's kind of like football heaven for Jameis. Like he's in a situation that is like Florida State. Like it's that type of situation. So I'm super excited for him. I'm excited for the whole team. I really hope, Michael Thomas is back and healthy. I don't know. I'm just super excited about the season. And I never was about any of the Bucs seasons. Like I was always interested to see how Jameis would do, what his metrics were going to be like, stuff like that. But I never thought of the Buccaneers team as a legitimate Super Bowl contender ever. I thought they could have kind of an explosive offense.
Some of that who that. I think you're breathing in some of that who that.
I love it. Because guess what? Hey, the slogan for the year, Jameis 101 is "We like that." If they ever, we like that. Y'all don't forget that, man. Don't let them forget. We really like that.
And I tell people all the time, the Buccaneers, after they got Jameis Winston, never had the number 1 overall pick again. Or the number 2, or the number 3. You know what I'm saying? So He wasn't terrible. Trevor Lawrence went number 1, and they came back and they had the number 1 pick again. And nobody ain't saying nothing.
They Drake it. That's crazy. It's back to back. That's crazy. He said, and what it was, North Pacific, you said? The North Pacific, they're losing record North Pacific?
North America.
North America. The whole country. God damn. Hey, real quick, I know you follow our local media, man. Something the other day we talked about it on NOLA Bros, and man, if y'all don't have it in the chat, man, if y'all can follow and subscribe to our channel NOLA Bros, man, it'll be awesome. But we talked about this, man. Our guy, the Cannon, Bobby Abreu, he made a comparison. I know Andy Dalton, he's a good quarterback, but he said a statement out there that with Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton, we'll go 10-7. The record wouldn't change. 10-7 with Jameis and 10-7 with Andy Dalton. That's how impressed. Do you agree with that statement? Like, I know Andy Dalton is a good quality backup, but no way at this stage of his career right now we'll have the same amount of winning as Jameis and Andy Dalton. I just don't see that. What's your thoughts on that? I don't know if you heard that or saw that interview, but he was talking about OTAs that.
No, I didn't hear that. Bobby's interviewed me in the past. I mean, I like him. I didn't hear that statement. All I would say is, I mean, if he was just giving credit to the team as a whole and the defense and saying that, no matter who the quarterback on the roster is, we're going to have a winning record.
No, it was more about Andy. It was more Andy. He was impressed with Andy.
Yeah, I mean, if Yeah, if he's comparing the two quarterbacks and saying they're on the same level, I think that's ridiculous. I like Andy. I think Andy Dalton is an upgrade, definitely over Trevor Siemian. I think he's an upgrade over Taysom Hill. I think if Jameis were, God forbid, to suffer some season-ending injury in training camp, I think this team with this roster could definitely make the playoffs with Dalton. But Andy Dalton is not even remotely close to the same level of quarterback as Jameis Winston. There's things Jameis can do on a football field Andy won't attempt. And Andy knows that. I mean, Andy knows he was brought in just to be the backup. So
he knows it too.
And the games would they'd be called totally different too. You're not going to call the same plays for Andy that you're going to call for Jameis. I mean, they didn't, even in Tampa, they didn't call the same stuff. Brady didn't run the offense Jameis ran in 2019. He changed it up. Brady ran it through the 5 games. He was worse. Yeah, he was worse through the first 5 games than Jameis was in his first 5.
Why they don't talk about that though? Why they don't talk about that? Why he had to change the whole offense that Jameis was under? Why they don't talk about that? Brady was throwing the same intercept, was on the pace too. Why nobody talks about that?
Hey, somebody did. Somebody did, and don't forget, I think 2 people might have said that already. I think it was Dan Orlasky, and I think Ryan Clark finally said it out of his mouth. I think 2 people said that. Now they finally come into their senses to compare. But that was mainly after we got Jarvis Landry in the building, and about 2 weeks later after that's been happening. If you watch some of the recent stuff, Dan's been saying that like it's crazy how y'all saying that, but nobody was saying that towards Tom Brady when he had to change the offense to win the Super Bowl. If they never changed the offense, they wouldn't be there. They would never won. That's what he was saying.
And they called a couple interceptions back for Tom too. Don't forget about that. They called 100%. A lot. One was a pick 6 against the Chargers. I remember. I was like, "Ooh, he is doing bad over there."
And that's what
the offense.
I know you. Back to the Andy Dalton and Jameis. What's your record prediction for us too, Jameis? 1-1. What you think?
When I did my season predictions and I looked at everything, I had the Saints at 11-6, but I had the Saints winning the NFC. Right. I think that the regular season schedule, I think it works out a lot better for Tampa. What I mean by that, I know Tampa plays the first place schedule and New Orleans plays the second, but they have less travel. The bye week set up better. I mean, even this, they're when they play each other, right? They go from Dallas to New Orleans, which is no big deal. And then when the Saints have to play the Bucs, they go cross country. Right. So there's a lot of different things where I do think the Bucs win the division, but I actually think that the Saints come out of the NFC. So I think the Saints are a better team. I think it'll just work out that way. And we see that all the time in sports, every sport. A lot of times the better teams don't have the better regular season records. So I have them pegged at 11-6. It wouldn't surprise me if they win more. It would surprise me if they won less than 10. I'll say that. I mean, they won 9 last year. So and like the Jameis and Andy statement that you brought up, I mean, that to me, that'd kind of be like saying, well, did you see Abram Smith? Like, I think the Saints can win 10. I think they'll go 10-7 with Kamara or Smith. Like, okay, maybe they would. Maybe they would actually go 10-7 if Kamara doesn't play a game. But that doesn't mean that those 2 running backs are on the same level.
Same level, 100%.
I have a question. So you say we win the NFC, that means we go to the Super Bowl. What type of contract are we looking at for Jameis Winston next year if that's the case?
That's really hard because I mean, like I have said, Jameis is, to me, he's weird. Like with money, he's weird. Like it doesn't seem to mean anywhere near as much to him as to a lot of other players. And I mean, like I do have contacts throughout the league and stuff. Like he seems weird the way that he views money. I mean, to turn down what he could have made in 2020 from the Jags to go sign basically a league minimum contract. What 25, 26-year-old does that?
Do that,
that's
right?
Bizarre, right? The next year to turn down more from the Bears than he could have, that's also bizarre. Even this year, he probably could have got more from the Colts. And that's a good situation too. But I think he follows his heart. I think Jameis legitimately tries to do what he perceives as God's will for his life, which I respect a great deal, right? I mean, I'm an Orthodox Christian theologian, so I respect that a great deal. And his family also kind of seems that way, where they're not geared around money. They're actually geared around seeing him maximize his talent and seeing him be all that God has for him, all that kind of stuff. So if that happens, if the Saints go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, etc. I mean, like my prediction was Saints and Bills, right, in the Super Bowl.
Nice.
I think the Bills may have been the best team last year. It just didn't work out for them on that coin flip.
That 13-second.
And they're getting Tre'Davious White back, and they've loaded up a little bit in the offseason too. So
Von Miller,
yeah. So if that were to happen, I mean, I could see, like most players in that situation, I think they would demand the 2-year contract that they signed, that second year be scrapped. And they would demand huge money up front. I could see Jameis saying, okay, let's just keep the second year what it is, playing on the 12.8, but then rolling in the years after to it. So it could look like something like, 5 years, 180 million or whatever, but he's still playing on a cheap deal next year to keep the team together.
Right.
I mean, he offered to give back part of his rookie signing bonus so that the team could draft Jalen Ramsey. Like that's not how that works, and the team ended up getting Vernon Hargraves and stuff, but he didn't know that. But I mean, like what rookie offers to give back?
Right.
Right.
So want to get a defensive player,
and he was spot on with Jalen Ramsey.
Hargraves. Did he play with Jalen? Did he play with Jalen Ramsey? Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
Yeah. So I mean, I would hope that the Saints would do right by him and reward him and stuff. Whether he would demand as much, I mean, like you hear about Kyler Murray demanding $50+ million a year. I don't know that Jameis would ever do something like. I don't know. I don't know if he would ever do.
Just don't fit his character, bro.
It don't seem like it.
But I would hope that they would do right by him.
I think we are, bro. I think it is. I think it is.
Sure. He's gonna pull the Tom. I think he's gonna pull the Tom Brady card.
So what? What card?
I think Jameis Winston's gonna pull the Tom Brady card. Where
what you mean?
He's not
contracts.
Low contracts, build around me. Let's keep winning because I'm a winner.
Right.
That's what he wants. He wants to win.
I hope that's the case because he gonna make money off the field as well when he starts.
Well, that's what I about to say. That's hope because that's what Tom Brady did. He made money off the field. I don't see a lot of Jameis Winston advertisement though, like market. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But you see the little
I want him to get paid,
right?
But
Little management, what it's called? Just win.
Just win. And I see that.
So maybe that's what he might funnel it in. Never, I don't know. James personally.
That's get him paid. I want them to show some respect at least. You know what I'm saying? Because the last 2 years, like brother, he didn't hit us with the cheap. You know what I'm saying? That's not kill us, but let's take care of him. You know what I'm saying? That's the middle.
And I honestly, I mean, the endorsements, it's a little disappointing. I think more endorsers should line up because he's such a character, right? Yeah. And I mean, like everybody says that when you hear him. But I mean, it would not surprise me if Jameis at the end of his sort of life made more as an analyst or a broadcaster because he's magic behind the camera. Once he's done playing, like I've always looked at him as somebody that could coach because he really understands the game. He loves kids. Like I think he could be an amazing college coach, sort of like what Deion Sanders is doing right now at an HBCU. I could see Jameis doing something like that, but I could also see him just behind the camera. I mean, imagine a broadcast, with like him and Romo going at it or whatever. It'd be fire.
You know what I miss the most? Playing football. I thought that was a great answer. I think people took away from that. I thought he was saying like I love football, but I miss playing football. I don't know why people don't understand it's the difference.
I love his
I think
saying.
it's the face and everything. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just him, man.
Don't y'all love his saying? I love when he talks and he's like, I love his interviews because when they asked him, what do you think about Chris Olave? How's his route running? He's smooth like the other side of the pillow. Man, I love it. You just gotta love his energy. I love his energy. I do. And that's the funny point.
Hey, so go over this Florida State team he had again. He had Calvin Benjamin. Was Dalvin Cook the running back? Couldn't have been, huh?
Not initially. No, he didn't win the title with Dalvin.
Devontae Freeman.
When they won the title, they had Freeman. Yep, they had Devontae. The defense, I would say, was better than the offense, right? I mean, Calvin Benjamin flamed out without Jameis once he got to the pros. Rashad Green really never did anything in the NFL, and he looked like a superstar with Jameis. Nick O'Leary looked like a superstar tight end with Jameis. He never did anything in the NFL. But the defense was loaded. They had Jalen Ramsey, they had Telvin Smith. I mean, they had some legitimate players.
And got mentioned PJ Playmaking Williams one time.
PJ Williams,
one of the best tacklers on the team.
I'm happy to see him finally getting some love because it felt like when Jameis first signed with the Saints and I started doing my research, it felt like everybody kind of was hating on PJ, and I was like, "What are they doing?" That
play. Listen, Jameis, I'm gonna be honest with you. Shout out to my brother, Big Q, everybody else. I've been holding them down. He's been one of my favorite, man. One of the best tacklers. One of the for sure tackle. He was just played out of position. He was his best wasn't outside. Inside when he was working against those tight ends and slot receivers, and also when he played safety, he was great. He's a for sure tackler. He understands the game, man. And like it was about 3-4 years ago, they put him in a position where, man, listen, he's really succeeding in, man. But man, I always loved PJ Williams, man. Always since he was a rookie, man.
And he always been an oversized cornerback. So sliding him over to safety wasn't a problem at all. Because we put him in a box, had him blitzing, and had him, man, he started.
Look what he did to Tom Brady. Like, shout out to Godwin, because people get mad. Like that hit on Jameis was a dirty hit by Devin White, who just undisciplined, wild tackling ass. But PJ, the hit that he put on, what was a legal hit, and that's just part of the paying the price of going across the middle. Yeah. That's just part of the middle. That's where it's going to. NFL rather you take the knees than you take the head. So it is what it is. But also the game, I don't know, that wasn't the same. Was it the same game or the game before? He picked 6 Tom Brady and sealed the game for us. So his just understanding of ball, see ball, and just that safety position is on another level. So man, I'm so glad we got a shout out to playmaking PJ Williams. When I said they laughed at me, look at him now. Let's go, PJ.
Hey, Jameis 101, I do have a question for you. Because remember we talked earlier about the limp? You know, that's what they call it. Worried about the limp. They just carried that story for a little bit. But nobody else was bringing up the story of him drawing a 50-yard bomb to Chris Olave in practice and all that, and he's still walking with a limp. So you telling me a guy with a limp that can throw 50 yards down the field, what do you think he's going to do without the limp?
Right. Well, yeah, and even he gave a statement. I don't remember whether it was an interview or whether it was off the, if it was just to a media, but he gave a statement about how, the meniscus is a little bit more bothersome than the ACL. Right. He's good with the ACL, MCL.
On the interview,
and he can throw 70, no problem. It's sort of, the lateral movement and stuff with the meniscus. But there's the quarterback himself stating, I can throw 70 with no problem. None of the media picks that up. Nick writes one word about a limp, and the media goes crazy. It's ridiculous.
Jay, you worried about his running, his mobility after this injury? You think it's going to be, a mental thing, or how you think he's going to shape back as far as the running side? Because if you look at early in the year, and I think it's going to be different because these drafted receivers going to get separation, and he's going to have open targets, but he carried us through the with his legs a lot through the season. Do you think that's going to hurt him mentally, or change him as a player?
No, I mean, one thing I don't think Jameis ever lacks is confidence. Like I don't think that's like even in him to lack. I think he's maybe more confident than any quarterback in the NFL. Somebody asked me about the Deshaun thing, whether you think it bothered him, and I said, I think I even tweeted about it too. I said, I think he probably looked at it like, why are they trying to downgrade? So I don't think confidence will be an issue. And then, I mean, just the receiver core itself, it should sort of change the way things are drawn up and the way things develop. I mean, if Penning is the starter and he has kind of a rough go of it his first year, obviously that could change things a little bit. But I mean, Jameis has never been a guy that coaches really outside of high school anyways. If you watch his high school tape, he looks like Vince Young. But once he got to Jimbo and bulked up and was just basically a pure pocket passer, quarterbacks really haven't asked him to run much. Yeah. Last year, he was one of the more effective rushing quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And actually, even in 2019, after Arians told him to bulk up to take a beating, he tied with Russell Wilson that year, third in the NFL amongst all quarterbacks in yards per scramble for quarterbacks that took off at least 30 times. So I mean, he's always been a very effective scrambler, even though people kind of tease him and say that he's an awkward runner and stuff. He's always been an effective scrambler.
He's a goofy runner. I love him.
Man, he's just an awkward guy.
Listen, Jameis was 5 yards up the field, past the line of scrimmage, and he did this.
Yep.
I loved it.
He jumped. He made him jump.
It's a threat. He a goofy runner for sure, man. But I just gotta love him, man.
I didn't like the hit he took against Washington when they helicopter my man's. He landed on his feet. He still landed on his feet and tried to run again. I'm like, Jameis, get down.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I prefer really to not see him run because he's got such a great arm. And now they have that receiving core where, if you want some of the short stuff, Landry's underneath, Michael Thomas can get underneath. You don't really need Jameis as a running threat. Plus, you have Taysom if you do want to get, your quarterback running. But I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, same with Mahomes, right? Like when I watch Patrick, I don't want to see him running. But when the opportunity presents itself, he'll take off.
You got to.
Right. And we'll see if it's the same now with Cheetah not there. We'll see if it's the same for him. But a lot of times, I mean, the lane would be there and nobody would be anywhere near him. And he could take off for 10, 15 yards. So
definitely.
I like the comparison too, bro. Because we talked about Mahomes and the difference is like Jabba. When he made a couple of passes, it was Mahomes like, but the fact that it was Jameis Winston making the passes, they didn't do it like it was the touchdown and against the Patriots when he was getting pulled down, but his eyes was down in the end zone. He threw it up. And they didn't. I know it was because Sean looked at and gave him that death stare, but at the same time, I felt like it was Jameis can do that. And if Patrick Mahomes does that, they write about it, go crazy. Oh, did you see him? His balance, his strength. He got up there and whatever.
Green Bay
but good. Yep, exactly with Juwan Johnson. But go ahead.
Yeah, Jameis 101. I do have a quick question because I noticed a lot with Jameis, from college to the NFL. He does like security blankets on the teams, especially, tight ends. I can tell he loves going to the tight ends and stuff, and that's like his safety blanket. I wonder if that guy, I think our tight end was probably the weakest, because we put in Taysom Hill back there finally. We're going to see how that, helps us out at tight end. You got Juwan Johnson, who showed a little promise last year, especially in the red zone, where Jameis Winston is really great at in the red zone with the touchdown and the ratio because Jameis 101 told me that.
Number and one, the other one, red zone offense in the league. Go ahead, Hoodie.
Yes, sir. And then we had Adam Trotman, who I think is going to have a nice good year too. But do you think Jameis 101, since that is his security blanket, that's his favorite weapons to go to sometimes, or tight ends, should the Saints maybe look towards another free agency signing like a Kyle Rudolph or somebody that's like a veteran?
I mean, I wouldn't be against it or anything. I doubt they do. I think that they, even last year, I think they were higher on their receiving group than the outside world was. Now, you could say that was a mistake, but I think they're higher on their tight end group probably than almost anybody in the media is. I will say Juwan Johnson has all the talent necessary to be a fantastic receiving tight end. Right. Now, whether he becomes a great blocker, who knows? I mean, last year was his first year ever playing tight end, right? Mm-hmm. And he flashed. I mean, that's really all you hope to see is somebody's in their first year playing a new position. You hope to see some glimpses,
show me something, some
flashes, and he did. Troutman too. I mean, he has the gifts, he has the potential. It's just a matter of putting it together. It wouldn't shock me to see him have a big year. It also wouldn't shock me to see him not, right? And maybe Juwan steals a lot of the snaps. Taysom, I have no idea because Taysom I kind of look at as just sort of like a wild card, kind of like his own position. I don't really necessarily. I know DA said he'll play tight end, but in my mind, it's just hard to envision him as a full-time tight end and not just kind of as a weapon out there, whatever he's doing.
Swiss Army. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think that they have enough guys, with Vanett, Troutman, Johnson, Taysom, that they're probably not going to bring anybody. Plus, they got the undrafted kid, Kroll, the Viking kid.
Kroll.
So,
Viking.
And he's got some good college tape, and is a legitimate athlete. So, and with the receiving core, they may run things a little bit more like 2019 Tampa. Not that they're going to go full risk it biscuit and just play stupid, but I think Arians' offense is stupid.
100%. 100%.
I don't think they'll do that, but I mean, when you have the receiving core they have, Landry may be that blanket, right? Blanket in the way that they kind of used Adam Humphries in Tampa, and Landry's way better than Adam Humphries. And Jameis got Humphries paid, right? I mean, that's an undrafted kid. He got him paid. He went to Tennessee and disappeared off the face of the earth. So, and Landry.
Look at Peyton Manning. Look at Peyton Manning.
Right.
That's crazy.
28.
Hey, Landry's a legitimate security blanket to where I don't think they necessarily need it as tight end. But you're right, Hoodie, that he's always loved throwing to tight ends. And that was one thing that bothered me about Tampa when Arians came in. He basically scrapped the tight ends entirely. Yeah, and they were running 3, 4, 5 wide, and it was just throw it up, and I'll scream at you if you don't throw to somebody double covered. It was just kind of insane.
I slap you upside your head.
Yeah.
And I think having Taysom as a 4-4 run speed guy at tight end is going to benefit Jameis up the seams a lot. Jameis going to tear those seams up with Taysom streaming down the middle. Like it's going to be.
I think we had this conversation. I think the tight end is very underrated. I'm not down on the tight end room at all. We got a versatile. Maybe we don't have one guy that you be like, oh my God, but I think of like so many things, different type of tight ends that we got. The Viking kid, we got Taysom, the X Factor, we got Jawan Johnson, the hybrid, we got Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman could be a complete. I think I'm gonna say on Troutman. I think Troutman gonna have a great season. I think everybody's gonna be worried about all these other flashy guys: Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, etc., Marcus Callaway, all those guys. That Adam Troutman with a healthy Jameis Winston, because people don't forget he didn't benefit having a Jameis all his whole time. He didn't have a healthy Jameis. He had 4 different quarterbacks. So why? I just this is 3rd year, the development year, and I think he's gonna do great. I think with a healthy Jameis Winston, Adam Troutman is gonna have a good year. Y'all just keep watching. So the underrated of our tight end room is gonna cease when the season starts. Watch it out.
Y'all said it earlier.
The same with Cesar Ruiz too. I mean, like a lot of people are down on him. He was a legitimate star in college. And you know, it wouldn't shock me to see him just make a massive jump in one of these years, because his first 2 years have been way worse than what most people think. But you know, there's a lot of late bloomers, right? They'll come in sort of as phenoms, and it takes them a while to figure it out, and then all of a sudden, boom. So and if that happens, that makes their offensive line even better. That'd be great.
No, 100%. And with Doug Marrone being a coach, that development year, Trey Henderson, we saw the same thing that 3rd year. It is what it is. We hope so, man, because Caesar, we can't afford you. You know, people got a lot of things. Don't forget. We got what's the guy Street we got on the D line. The reason why Drew is retired was because Caesar got his ass killed. Caesar got Drew killed, broke his rib. Drew woke up and forgot he was in a dome. He thought, "Hey, go give me something to drink." He's in the way he was at.
Oh, Hoodie, look what I tell him on the last show, Hoodie. I said, I don't want to see Cesar Ruiz right behind Jameis when he finished taking his 5-step drop. Jameis dropped 5 steps back, and Caesar right there next to him. I can't be seeing that this year.
I hope, and I think so. Because our guy, shout out to our guy, Brew Raw, because he always say send positive energy to Caesar. He gonna have a good year, and he also talk about just the addition of Doug Marrone, man. That's gonna be a good setup for him. So hopefully, and Zach Street, don't forget, Hall of Famer Saint. You already know he gonna hold him down. So I'm looking forward to him this year. Give him some hope.
Definitely. And then I had one more question for you, Jameis 101, that kind of came to my mind. And also I wasn't for sure, Jameis 101, how much time you got. Like, I do have some people in the chats, you know, that wanted to ask you some questions if you had a minute. Wasn't sure how much you had, but one of my last questions that came to my head just now was the Jarvis Landry coming to the Saints, right? And before he came, I was telling people I think he will sign with New Orleans. And some people in my chat came on the show before and was like, why would we want Jarvis Landry to build in? He's basically another Michael Thomas. And I told him, I said, well, if you can't guard Mike on one side, how are you going to can't guard Jarvis on the other side? And I said, that's basically a security blanket for Jameis Winston, basically, right? You know, Michael Thomas ain't open. Chris Olave ain't open down the field. You got Jarvis open down on the right side, you know, or Jarvis ain't open. You got Michael Thomas, or they both ain't open. Now Chris Olave is open. It's like there's so many weapons to where he got security blankets left, right, and I didn't even missing AK on the checkdowns.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. For me, like when I think of like the 5 guys that could line up that could just absolutely terrify defenses, you got Olave and Deontay on the outsides. I mean, that speed kills. You've got Landry and Michael Thomas more on the inside. They can just tear up anybody. And then you got Alvin Kamara there, too, as both a running threat and out on wheel routes and stuff. Like, that's a nasty 5.
Yes. Yes. So what you going to put in? DBs, or you going to have your linebackers in? What's going to happen? Right. Like, you're destroyed no matter what. And you got to keep up with the speed on the outside? Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Trouble.
It's definitely going to be scary, man. But,
James, who's gonna be who you think James' favorite receiver gonna be? Who you think gonna be his guy?
Olave. I say Olave.
Michael Thomas.
If everybody's healthy, I'll say Michael, just because it's Michael, right? Like, like even if somebody's got a little bit more of a rapport, like that's still the big dog that eats first.
Right. And I said, because when he got in the San Francisco game when Drew got hurt,
he forced
the only player he was like, Michael
You got a receiver like Michael Thomas.
And I said, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, bro.
AK and Michael Thomas.
Michael
that was
Thomas,
his
that's
two
it.
guys. I love it. And he loved Michael Thomas, and Mike loved him. So I can't wait for this.
Yeah. The only reason why I said a lot of it was because of the deep passes, and Jameis loved that deep pass. So if everybody else is focusing on Michael Thomas and Landry up close, deep pass is gonna be open all day for him and Deontay Hardy. That's just gonna be wide open all day because you got to watch Thomas, Jarvis. Oh, and by the way, what happened when we didn't have Michael Thomas and no receivers? Everybody was playing up close and putting extra people in the box for AK. Now you can't do that. So now you got to watch AK, Michael Thomas, and Jarvis up close.
Who you gonna
tell you this 1-on-1? I was like, okay, when we had Jameis Winston starting, I knew he was going to outdo Taysom Hill. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. Like, that was a given. I still was like, man, Jameis got to prove it to me. So the thing that made him prove it to me was he threw those 4 touchdowns first in Green Bay, and then he was like, all right, I'm about to show y'all what I really have in my tank. We came out the next drive. He did the play action and threw the ball deep to Deontay Harris and started looking at the sideline. I said, oh yeah, we got our guy.
He looked at Sean. I don't know who he looked at, but he was running down looking. That's what you wanted? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, we have our guy right now. That's our guy.
Facts.
That's my guy. And ever since then, I've been on him. I've been loving Jameis ever since.
Hey, we all love Jameis, sure.
The throw he made there too, in that Patriots game, right, where everybody kind of blew it up to where Sean was mad at him, right? Yeah. And it worked out for a touchdown. Then he said, "God's plan." And then what was hilarious is right after that game in the post game press conference, they were asking Jameis if he'd do it again. He said yes, right? Yep. And so then Sean, I think it was the day after, Sean had went back and watched the film, and he admitted in an interview Jameis was right. Like, right. I see what he saw now. Yeah, so right. that told me a lot too. Like, I really do. I'm like, it's always going to be one of those things. Even if Jameis and DA hit it off and win a ring this year and everything, like, it's still in the back of my mind. It's going to be like, what would it have been like Jameis and Sean for a decade?
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. I'm really excited about DA. I'm happy for Sean. It looks like he's going to get huge money, in the booth or doing something that's a lot less stressful than coaching. So I'm happy for him too. But at the same time, it was a little sad to see him retire.
and I think Jameis said it in that interview after the game. He was like, I told Sean that he said something like it was God's plan, but he said, I knew what I was doing, kind of like he was hinting towards that. And he said, Sean gonna have to see the tape. And then Sean came back the next day and saw the tape, and he was like, yeah, Jameis was right. And I love that. that kind of brings them closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to trust me, Sean.
that Patrick Mahomes comparison to Jameis, the viewpoint of him. You know what I'm saying? If that was Patrick Mahomes, it'd have been beautiful. It was Jameis. Oh my God, you got lucky. Don't do it again.
Yeah, very true. And also with those two guys and say, a guy like Josh Allen, there's not a lot of guys that would even try that play, right? Like, I mean, you remember the Manning boys, Peyton and Eli. I mean, they're two all-timers, especially Peyton. But on that type of play, what are they doing? They're crumpling to the ground. They're acting like they just got shot in the face and they're falling to the ground to avoid the sack. But there's a few guys that they trust their ability enough and they know they can make a play like that where they're going to try it. Now, sometimes it doesn't work. You saw in the Panthers game, the one where Jameis is sort of falling to his left. He got tripped a little bit and he throws up a bomb towards the end of the first half. I don't think it mattered. They were getting beat anyways. It's sort of almost like a Hail Mary. But I remember getting into it with a media guy about that, and he was saying Jameis can't make that play. And I said, dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Jameis can make that throw on his knees. He could literally be on his knees on the ground and still make the throw. It's just he got clipped at the side. He was falling to his left. It came up a little short. It's not that he can't make the throw, And so a lot of times people think that something's a bad decision. That isn't necessarily a bad decision. It just doesn't work out. Kobe Bryant, it didn't have a great field goal percentage. If you compare Kobe Bryant and Ray Allen's field goal percentage, you'd think that Ray Allen was better. He was nowhere near as good. It's just Kobe would try a lot of stuff that other dudes wouldn't try because he knew he could make it, and just sometimes it wouldn't work.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Yep.
Definitely makes sense, man. But Mr. Jameis 101, if you got a few minutes, man, I got a few people that wanted to come on and ask a few questions if you don't mind, talking for a little bit.
I got like 8-9 minutes. Is that okay?
All right, but that's cool. So everybody that I'm gonna bring on real quick, I'm gonna bring one by one. Make sure y'all have about like 2 minutes, and we're gonna give it up. We got about 3 people. So Mr. DeWright, man, how you doing?
I'm good.
What up, man? What you got for Jameis 101?
Yes, sir. Nola Bros.
What's up, baby? What's up?
What's going on? Hey, Jameis 101. I got a question for you. I've often heard out there that Jameis has difficulty, and I won't say difficulty, but let's say he struggles sometimes with his passes in the middle of the field. That's where a lot of his interceptions came from. And with you being a part of his camp, or at least know exactly what's going on in the camp, is that one of the things that he focused on? Because I know that he mentioned that he was, focusing on his accuracy and with the two receivers that we have, like Michael Thomas and Jarvis, that's pretty much the routes that they run. They run sometimes middle of the field routes. So is that something that he, that's one of his focuses?
Yeah, it definitely was, and he spoke to that in an earlier interview. What I would say is that area of the field, honestly, is where almost every quarterback struggles, especially if you're talking intermediate throws and not just checkdowns. There was a great article. I can't remember who wrote it, but there was a great article written about Aaron Rodgers and the sections of the field that he flat out refuses to throw to. Yeah. And how he would tell Mike McCarthy on certain play calls, no, I'm not throwing there, because he knew the interception rate was higher, right? He knew the interception rate was higher in those areas. Jameis, however, he has that type of arm, and he also has that yes coach mentality, right? So he's not a Brady, he's not a Rodgers that basically just flips the coach off and does his own thing. He was a yes sir, I'll do what you say, sir. And so in Tampa, even Clyde Christensen, the quarterback coach, in an interview was cracking up about that. And he was saying how Bruce Arians would call for Jameis to do this just total nonsense that most quarterbacks would say no to. And Jameis would just immediately do it. Like, he's not going to say no. And so then, landing with a guy like Peyton, and on top of that, having a limited receiving core, I think Sean knew exactly how to call the games, right? To maximize Jameis's talent and abilities. And there's no point in airing it out, and there's no point in throwing into the higher interception rate of the field when you don't have the receiving core for that anyways, and especially when you have a defense that can get you through games. So I think a lot of Jameis's interceptions are more situation related rather than errors in judgment, or even rather than any issues like with his arm or what he's seen. I think they're situation related, where Jameis is a lot like a Phillip Rivers in that he doesn't care per se if he throws a pick. He's trying to win the game, right? And Rivers would talk about that. I don't care if I throw 3 or 4 picks. I'm trying to win the game. It's got nothing to do with stats. So when you're in a situation where you can depend on your defense, you don't have to take the same chances. Yep. You just don't. When you're in Tampa and you don't have a run game, and you have a defense that routinely gives up 30 a game, you have to win shootouts. You've got to take shots, or you're just going to get blown out.
Got to put it on your back.
So I think that the situation that he's in with the Saints, I think that in and of itself is the biggest benefit to him as far as like curbing turnovers. I don't think it's necessarily much of what he needs to work on. The situation, I think, is the biggest blessing.
And bro, I was watching that Rams game when Jameis was with Tampa, and this man threw like 4 touchdowns and had them up at least 3 touchdowns, and the defense blew that lead and tried to blame that last pick 6 that he threw to Marcus Peters, like blame the game on that. I'm like, these dudes should have been closed that game out.
Shouldn't even came down to the pick.
Jameis hung 55 on him that game. I remember that.
God,
warm up.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Mr. DeWright. Much
love, DeWright, baby.
Stay back here, because like I said, once Jameis gets off, we'll bring y'all on. Y'all can talk with me and the Nola Bros for a little bit before we end the podcast. So you can stay tuned. Right? Cool. So next up, Mr. Jameis 101, man. We got my man, Mr. Jerry. How you doing, Jerry?
What's up,
OG? What's up, Hoodie?
OG, what's up, baby?
What's up, Nola Bros? What's up, Jameis 101? What's good, family?
What's good? So what you got to ask Jameis 101, man? What's one of the great questions you want to ask him?
Well, one of the questions I want to ask Jameis 101, since he knows Jameis Winston very well, because I've been hearing all this negative talk about Jameis Winston and what he's gonna do and what he's not gonna do this upcoming season, and all the shenanigans that are going on. But I want to know from your perspective, do you believe that Jameis Winston, if he continues to stay healthy, do you think he's going to have a breakout season this upcoming season with these new wide receivers that we got with Olave and hopefully a returning Michael Thomas and newly signed Jarvis Landry and these other wide receivers? Do you think that Jameis is going to have a breakout season this year and avoid all the negativity what they talking about?
The first part, yes. The second part, no. So what I mean by that is, yes, I do. If Jameis stays healthy, I expect him to have a breakout year. Although breakout, like Ian Harrods from PFF, he tweeted something out saying that he looks for Jameis to make an 8th year leap like Ryan Tannehill. And I love Ian. Like, that's one dude from PFF that I actually get along with. And like, there's a lot of guys at PFF that can't stand me, and I don't really appreciate what they do either. But Ian, I like. But I said to him, what exactly do you mean by leap? Like, how is a quarterback that was number 2 in the entire NFL in EPA per play going to take a leap? How is a guy that was top 4 in raw QBR? What does this leap look like? Because if you can take a leap from number 2 in EPA per play and number 4 in total QBR, you're basically God on a football field. Like, what's the leap, right? So, yeah. But I would say that, yes, I do expect a breakout season by, what most people would mean by that, his best career year. The thing that I would say no to is the negativity part. I think the media, for the most part, like there are people that have come around. There are some guys that are, good guys and gals in the media that understand what's going on. But I think a lot of the media members are so dug in on anti-Jameis narratives, and they're so dug in on their past takes about Jameis that I don't know if he'll ever change them. I don't know if, no matter what he does, I don't know if it'll ever change him. I mean, Colin Cowherd is an example, and I don't dislike Colin. I mean, I've heard from media and sources that he doesn't like me, he doesn't like my takes and stuff, and whatever. That's fine. I don't dislike him because I think he's relatively original, but I saw the take he gives, or I see the takes he gives on Russell Westbrook, right? And I mean, sometimes it's just a bit too much. Like, you're talking about a guy who is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yep. Yeah, he's got issues to his game, but he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he talks about him like he's a bum. Like, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, he did a segment, I think just today, about how he's never made any teammate better, and then he raved about how Draymond Green does. Well, for one thing, Colin employs Draymond on his new thing. He's sort of his boss on the podcast, so he's got kind of a conflict of interest there, anyways. Right. Which is a little bit unethical to be praising him and ripping a guy that you don't have that business relationship with. But Bradley Beal had his best year with Russell as his point guard. Right. Bradley Beal fell off the map without Russell this year, right? I mean, Steven Adams had maybe his best year with Russell Westbrook. You could say Kevin Durant had his absolute best year with Russell Westbrook. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
They would say, okay. Yeah.
So even if Jameis goes out there and I mean, let's say, don't go to extremes and they don't win the Super Bowl, but let's say he goes, 12-5 and he's top 7 in MVP voting, stuff like that. I could still see Cowherd saying, well, they would have been better off with Baker, or they would have been, like, some of these media guys, I think, will be negative just to be negative.
That's it. Don't find something.
Yeah, when you've got a young man that was bashed by Get Up on ESPN on the day that they ran a segment about him starting a COVID hotline, and you've got a young man that the birth announcement article of his firstborn child was used by ESPN to bash him, I don't think the negativity is ever going away for a lot of people.
Right.
And that's and I agree with you, and that's the main thing. That's why nobody, including myself, don't want to listen to that to the national media, because all they talk about is this team and that team, but not one time that they talk about the New Orleans Saints. Not one time. Teal know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Inside of hell know what I'm talking about. When you know what I'm talking about. when we come on here, no matter what Saints podcast they got on YouTube, we come on here and we talk New Orleans Saints. If they want to talk about these other teams in the national media, go right ahead. Because over here, we talk New Orleans Saints, and we're going to stick with the New Orleans Saints. Who that?
and I'll say
I got to let them know.
Insider L brought up the Rams game, and you can actually go back, like, you just find the date that game happened, and then go to that date and watch basically any segment you can find, whether it's Get Up, Undisputed, Cowherd, First Take, all of them. They either ignored the game completely. And this is a game where the Bucs were huge underdogs.
Facts.
The Rams were being talked about as a Super Bowl favorite.
Yes.
They just shut down basically every quarterback they played that year. And Jameis hit them up for 55. And every single one of those big talking head shows either pretended the game didn't happen, like ignored it completely. It wasn't a segment. Or they used it to mock Jameis and say, oh, well, how could the Rams have let Jameis Winston of all people do that?
Right.
I mean, you got to be any other quarterback drops 55 on a team that good.
Dropping bombs on them.
Yeah, that's a main segment.
Drop it like it's hot.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jarrett, for coming on, man. And like I said, just stay tuned because we're gonna bring y'all back on in a little bit. All
right.
Much love, OG. Much love, baby. Who that?
Thank you. Take care.
Who that? And Jameis 101, you got one more call?
One more,
you gotta go. One more. Gotcha. And this is gonna be Brother Prom. We call him. What's up, Brother Prom?
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, Brother Prom?
I'm doing beautiful. There's a couple of things I just wanted to say. Number one, you can't satisfy everybody all the time. Another thing, assholes. Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one, and sometimes they stink. And Jameis 101. I really don't have a question. I just want to have a statement about Jameis. And the thing I want to say about Jameis, I love the young brother. He's very positive. And who gives a damn about all these talking heads being negative about him? Just go out there and do what you got to do, and bring us a couple of Super Bowl rings. And I predicted that when Saints first signed with him.
Right.
But tell if you ever get a chance to talk to him again, just tell him that he has a lot of supporters that are old like me. I'm 59 years old. That like to see his brother succeed because he's positive and he's real and he's down to earth.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters.
Genuine.
I don't give a damn about some of these naysayers in the national media because when you get a certain age, man, you ain't got. Once you get over 50, you ain't got time for a lot of the bullshit. Who gives a damn? You can't satisfy everybody because even if Jameis was to straighten up the Tower of Pisa, they'd probably say, "Oh shit, his angle wasn't straight enough. It's up by 0.5 of a degree." So who gives a damn? Just go out there and do what you got to do. What you think about that 101?
I love it. I mean, I love your comments. And honestly, I think Jameis is a good example of somebody that, despite how the media's treated him, he's never treated them bad back, right? I mean, like and you can even ask the media and some of the media in Tampa that were really hard on him and wrote hit pieces and stuff. Like Jameis has always treated them with kindness. And yet, I mean, like you'll see a guy like Mayfield flip out on the media, right? Routinely, and they're not treating Baker as bad as they treat Jameis. Derek Carr is known around the league and in the media as a wonderful, family man, right? Kind of a devout Catholic kid, etc. And yet Derek Carr basically threatened to fight Max Kellerman.
Whoa!
And Max Kellerman didn't really say anything remotely close as bad about Carr as what he did about Jameis all the time, right? Kellerman ripped Jameis routinely. Like he's one of the guys that kind of has done kind of a 360 on Jameis. He's actually been a lot more positive, which I respect. I like because I had a full section in my book dedicated to Kellerman. But Jameis, I think, is a good example of somebody that has treated people, the way he'd like to be treated, even though they haven't done the same. So I respect that about him.
That about him too. And the only thing I just want, no problem. Sorry about that, Nola. And the only thing I'm just saying about that is, so what? These national media people, you know who they remind me of? They remind me of Fox News, putting a lot of non-factual fantasy shit out there that's not based on any kind of proof that he's gonna fail, but they believe it. You got a lot of morons out there that are easily manipulated and could get easily brain fucked. And we as Who Dat Nation, we know better what they're talking about, because it's not just about Jameis. He's gonna get that heat now, even more so because he wants to play for the Saints, and I love that because they don't like the Saints anyway. Because they don't like the Saints because the Saints are a small market. Why you think they stole the Super Bowl from us to put the Rams in, and the Rams got embarrassed? Because the Rams have to succeed. Yeah. They're in the number one market.
They got a stadium. They got to just build the stadium. All that got to happen. All that got to happen.
And you got two teams in New York, and now both of them suck. and I'm gonna tell you, I remember how Joe Namath used to talk bad about the Saints, and he only won one Super Bowl. And correct me if I'm wrong, people. He didn't really have a winning record as a quarterback, if I remember correctly. Joe Namath.
I gotta check his stats. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because he used to talk about the Saints are the team with the flowers on the head, fleur de lis.
That's before my time. See, I'll be telling people we don't play none of that. You know what I'm saying? All that. You can't talk about this team. That's back in the day. Ain't no laughing stock at all, man. We 360, 180 that all the way. So I don't know about Joe Namath, but yeah, ain't none of that happening. We're gonna make sure. Hey, and as far as the media, one of one. How you feel about New Orleans? I know in fan base, you think we the best one so far that Jameis? I know I had two, but compared to Tampa, what you think about it? Is it the media and the guys that do it? You think we're a little better than them as far as just the support of Jameis?
It's night and day. Not just the support, but the professionalism.
Gotcha.
I've talked with pretty much everybody in the media for the Saints, and I mean there's a couple. There's a couple guys that I think are a little weird, but for the most part, they're professional. They actually kind of know what they're talking about. Tampa was different. Like the DMs that I had and stuff with Tampa media were kind of insane. Like they seemed to have like a personal hatred for Jameis, and it was based on nothing.
Well, that's Florida. That's Florida. What you could say, that's Florida.
Yeah, and a lot of them just didn't really seem to know football. Like I would bring stuff up, and they didn't seem to know it. I mean, I DM with some of the New Orleans guys, and like they know what they're talking about, which is refreshing. And then the fan base. I mean, I think part of it too was that Jameis was in Florida, so immediately he's got Hurricane fans hating him, and he's got Gator fans hating him, right? And then he's got Seminole fans backing him. So there's kind of like 2/3 of the fan base that are kind of already they dislike him. Yeah. Whereas with the Saints, everybody for the most part has given him a chance. Other than there's a few sort of wild Taysom fans that are a little weird.
Hey! I know who you talking about. I just seen. I think because I followed you. Your boy, the what you call the podcast, Happy Thing, whatever.
It exists. It exists for real.
I saw that. That's funny. Whatever the case is. That's funny. I saw it when you retweeted too. That was hilarious.
101. I got a question for you. Okay. Can not dealing with Jameis, and you may know this. Name me the NFL team that it took 50 years for them to finally become winners. And people used to talk about them a lot in the 70s.
By winners, do you mean like their all-time franchise mark, or just like a winning
No,
season?
they for 50 years they sucked as a franchise, but in the 70s, they became big. What team I'm talking about?
Jesus, that's not a question for me.
In the 70s.
Yeah, they were big.
You're kind of throwing me for a loop, man. Go ahead and tell me.
Did they was they suck in the 70s and they good now? That what you saying?
No, the Pittsburgh Steelers sucked for 50 years, and it wasn't until the 70s where they became a household name.
Okay, so you're talking pre-Super Bowl era. Yeah. Well, yeah, and then the reverse of that is the Lions, who were basically the gods of the NFL in the pre-Super Bowl era, and now they're trash.
Bro. Sorry, Pops. My dad's from Detroit. He's a big Lions fan.
Yeah.
My dad too. I was raised to be a Lions fan, and that's why I'm not a team fan per se. Like I follow players, I study players. Yeah, I follow players, I study players. But I mean, it took me seeing Billy Sims with the Lions, a great individual talent that they wasted. Barry Sanders, a great individual talent they wasted. Megatron, a great individual talent they wasted. Like, I mean, that franchise is just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, because the thing about Barry was he retired. He still had a lot of tread on his feet, man, but he had to hang him up. I'm sorry he never got a chance to get to a playoff game. Because
I know. It's
the same thing that happened with him is the same thing that happened with the wide receiver that the Texans used to have that was real big. I think
Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, look. Well.
Well, thank you, brother Prom, my man, for coming on and chatting it up, and we're gonna open up the lines again after Mr. Jameis Winston gets off the show. All right?
Love the mask, by the way. Love the mask for the movie.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Much love, brother Prime. 101. So earlier you said that we'll go what? 11-6, and Tampa win the division. What you got Tampa going?
Well, at least 12. When I looked at it, I actually had them winning 13. But it seems a little high, so I would just say at least 12. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me. Like, and I had them splitting. Like, I think the Saints kind of own Tampa, but that coming cross country trip, I think it's going to be tough the second time they play. Mm-hmm. So I had them splitting. If the Saints end up beating that, I could see them both finishing with 12 wins and the Saints winning the division. I don't think it'll matter. I think the Saints can win the NFC even if they don't win their own division. Like, I honestly don't think it'll matter. The Rams were not the number 1 seed last year, and they won the Super Bowl. Whoever wins the NBA title this year is not the number 1 seed from their conference, so I don't think it'll matter.
But you think Tampa is better than last year after losing Antonio Brown?
No, I think they're worse.
And JPP?
No, I think they're worse.
Thought too. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I'm gonna disagree with you. I think we're gonna bust their ass twice, and I think their schedule is hard as hell. Yeah. And I just think with Chris Godwin now, I just don't think they got it. I'll be honest. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Don't laugh at me. They might be running with Carolina for second in division. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just saying Carolina might get there. I'm just telling you that the potential. I don't know Sam Darnold. I don't trust and all that. That's a whole different thing. But I just don't believe in the Bucs like that this year. I just don't. I mean, we already owned them, but to lose all those players,
and their linemen,
and you lost one that retired, one went to another team. I just don't see it, man.
In the year they won a Super Bowl, they was calling Ali Marpet their best lineman. I remember it was like our best lineman is out, and once we get him back, so Ali Marpet was a big piece, and they lost the other one too, Kappa.
You never know how it's gonna play out, man. Because
Ali Marpet was their best lineman. He always was when Jameis was there too. He was always better than Donovan Smith. But once he retired, they did somehow with just a 5th round pick get Shaq Mason. Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah. So, he's not.
But yeah, I mean, and the other thing, like, if the seasons are reversed, I mean, injuries are hard to tell, right? Like, you don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
The Saints going 9-8 last year with the amount of quarterbacks they had to play in the games that. If Tampa loses Brady for 11 games the way the Saints lost Jameis, I doubt they're winning 3 games, right?
Right. So, it's a wrap. And you get because a lot of stuff you gotta think about other stuff off the field because it's the Brady effect. They give a lot of stuff to Brady, man. I don't just say this, but they give if you watch all the Tampa Bays with Brady, there's at least 1, 2, 3 calls that they're gonna get for going Brady way. Brady allowed to do a lot of different things, but
even in the Super Bowl, they call Tyron interception back for Brady.
You think that's gonna be how you think Tom feel about that one? Tyron coming down here. You think he's turning? You think he ready to retire back?
Hope so.
And Godwin, you think Godwin gonna be healthy next year?
I'd be surprised if he is to start the year. I mean, I think he'll be fine come the second half of the season. I love Chris. Like Chris he's a fantastic receiver, fantastic young man, a real professional. To me, he's a better receiver than Mike Evans. He's not as dynamic. He's not as physically gifted. Mike Evans to me is like a Vince Carter in the NBA, right? And Chris Godwin is more of like a Ray Allen, and you can make a case Ray Allen had the better career, but Vince was Vince. Like had they played one-on-one, Vince would have killed Ray Allen, right? But Ray Allen probably had the better career. So I think Chris Godwin, he's a better all-around receiver. But Mike's just got that. He's got that physical freakiness to him. You know, he's got the big size,
6'5", speed.
But if Godwin isn't back to normal, that's a huge loss for the Bucs. Yep. That's a huge loss because Brady's game isn't just throwing deep.
Yeah, right. I feel like that's their offense. Really, it runs through Chris Godwin, especially receiving.
And without Antonio Brown, I think that's going to be the determining factor. And if they start off slow and Godwin not there, it's going to be bad for him going downhill.
And who knows about Gronk too? Gronk might just be gone.
I seen something. They said that towards training camp. I just seen some little inside or whatever. But it doesn't matter. That don't matter against us, man. Gronk is getting old. Tom Brady about to be 45 years old with the offensive line, and you don't have Chris Godwin, and you got Gage. He's a good receiver, but he ain't like that. He's not like that. So
he ain't no
We're gonna see. We're gonna revisit that. We're gonna revisit that and see how that come back. And you never know how this season gonna shake out.
Well, I'll ask you guys. I'll ask you guys real quick. In a playoff game, who would you fear more between the Bucks and the new look Eagles? The Eagles have kind of smacked the Saints around the last.
The Eagles. But I'm gonna say this:
a healthy Bucks team.
I don't care about.
Okay, both are healthy come playoff time.
Talk that talk. You could do.
I'll go Bucks just because Tom been there.
Yeah,
we could get Jalen the crack. We could get Jalen the crack probably, no matter how much talent he have. But Tom, I'm
gonna give. First of all, we don't have Jared Cook on our team because that's the only reason why we lose that game against the Bucks because they love to hang their hat on it. Oh, in the postseason, it was one postseason. It's like we got rivalries in the postseason and y'all beat us, and y'all beat one with Jared Cook who fumbled, soft hand ass carry, who also anyway. Jared Cook now on this team, and like you said, we've been the Eagles been giving us a lot of trouble, and with that RPO with Jalen on his feet with his on feet, he's dangerous, but. Every time we played them, every time we played them, our quarterback been hurt and we've been banged up a lot. I think healthy, we whooped their ass. That's why I said I really don't see no team that really could mess with us, bro. I really don't see no team that I feel that I don't think that we can beat or we can dominate. I just don't see that. All aspects of our game is nasty. Go ahead.
The Eagles do have as much talent though. They do. But I think we have the better quarterback. Yeah. I think Jameis is better 100%. Than Jalen. And I'm 100%. Tired of them putting Jalen over him. It's sickening to me. Like,
did you see Jameis was 26 in a quarterback ranking? You saw that, bro?
Yeah. Sims?
Yes.
Trash.
Chris Sims is a goober.
He used to play for Tampa. Hated.
Nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about no damn Chris Sims, man. But shout out to Abby in the chat. I pulled up the comment for you, Jameis 101. She put I purchased Jameis 101 book on Amazon a year ago. His book is a must read. It will enlighten you regarding Jameis Winston as a person and as a football player. So shout out to Abby for actually purchasing your book, Jameis 101.
Oh, I appreciate that, Abby. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yes, indeed, man.
But feel free to DM anytime on Twitter. I'm at Jameis 101. I like interacting with readers, and that's cool. Thank you.
It's definitely fun. It's definitely fun interacting with him.
Jameis, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely fun chatting away with Jameis 101, y'all. And I know he's got to get going, man. But I did want to say one more thing because I remember one of your last interviews you had on YouTube. I think his name was Nader. Is if I'm correct, or if I'm saying his name correctly? You was on a show with him and Soul Saint, man. If anybody don't know who Soul Saint is, that's the man dressed up as the boxer and stuff like that. It was a great interview. I was watching that night too to support the other guy's channel as well. I didn't know he had a channel until I looked, and then I added him back on Twitter and stuff like that as well. But I was listening to it, and you made me laugh, Jameis 101, when you said about when he asked you about, are you going to attend any of those Saints games? And you're like, I mean, of course, yeah, but you won't know I'm there because I don't tell my identity. But he was like, and I think it was the story with one of the guys you was talking to, like a reporter or something with Tampa Bay, and he didn't even know you was at the game next to him a few times, which was funny. So but when you said that, I started laughing my A off, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it I'm going to be at every game for my tickets giveaway. So I'm going to be at that game asking people left and right, hey, are you Jameis 101? Are you Jameis 101? Are you Jameis 101? They're like, who's that? Who's that? Oh, okay, well, that's not you then.
Now I have to throw a question out there. What would it take for you to reveal your identity?
Super Bowl.
Oh, man. I don't know.
A Jameis MVP? Super Bowl MVP?
I don't know. I've been asked to do it a lot of times. I had an interview with Sports Illustrated, and they wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't reveal my identity. And I had a couple other big interviews that I could have got if I would have revealed my identity, and I just won't do it. And I know a lot of people even inside Jameis's camp are like, just reveal your identity, reveal it. I'm an extremely private person. And part of it too is that I wanted my book to be about the content, right. of the book,
right,
and not about who wrote it. It doesn't matter. I could be a homeless guy behind Walmart, or I could be, a president of some company. It doesn't matter. It's about the content. And I'm glad I did it that way because the book can't be refuted. Like there's not a single page in the book that anybody can refute. And so when I saw the media start coming after me and trying to figure out who I was, I had a Tampa Bay Times guy try to dox me. Like he literally tried to dox me. I've been threatened with lawsuits. I mean, like I've gone through some stuff over this, and it cracked me up because if they could refute the book, they wouldn't care who I am.
Yeah.
They wouldn't care at all who I am because they could just shred my book. But because they cannot refute anything in my book, they wanted to know who I was personally so that they could find something to pick at that way. Right. But yeah, I mean, I definitely might be at some Saints games this year. I nobody will know. I will say I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'3" and a big guy. So I'm like the size of most offensive linemen. So if you knew, I'm a big Viking.
All right, so you know what that means, right? That means he's definitely smaller than 6'3". That's what he's trying to say. So I'm gonna come up and it's gonna be a shorter guy, shorter than me, coming like 6'1", 6'2". Hey man, I'm a huge fan of you, Hoodie Jube, man. I love your show and everything, man. Oh, and that interview you had with Jameis 101, bro, man, that was nice. I'll be like, thank you, and then I'm gonna look at him and be like, hold on, you Jameis 101, bro?
That would be funny if that happened.
Yeah, that would be funny. I'm sitting right next to Jameis 101. We don't even know it. I'm like, hey man, you need to subscribe to my channel. You could be like, I'm already subscribed. Excuse you? I've been on your show before. Excuse you? I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be fun, man. So that's what made me laugh when I heard you say that on the show, man. I was like, it's got me thinking. I was like, hey, if he's gonna be at the game, which one's gonna be him? Because there's thousands of people there. You don't know where he's at. So, man, it was a pleasure, man, having you back on the show again. We always chop it up, having a good time on here. And it was definitely fun with the NOLA Bros be able to come on and ask their questions as well.
Yeah.
And and you finally got to meet the NOLA Bros. So Mr. James 101, make sure you subscribe to them as well for you can stay tuned on their video because he's always checking up on my videos and everybody else's. And,
man.
If y'all have anything left to say to Jameis 101 before he leaves, y'all gonna leave the platform to y'all to let y'all talk to Jameis 101 before we leave.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you. Appreciate it. Like Al said, man, thank you for doing what you're doing, being an advocate for Jameis. Man, it's just awesome. Love your content. I appreciate the follow, man. Follow back, man, and shit. We'd like to contact you in the future, do something with you, man. Just love everything and love your knowledge on everything, man. So thank you for the time,
I say this: if you would have did what you did. What you do for Jameis Winston, for Drew Brees, he would have been on the all-decade team right now.
You did. That's all I'm like saying. Straight like that. We needed somebody like that. Real talk, man.
Yep. So we need you, bro. So keep doing that for Jameis.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys. I had a blast tonight, and I'll look forward to doing something with you too. You guys were great hosts, along with Hoodie. So you guys have an awesome night. I had a lot of fun.
Man, all right, it was nice talking to you. I'll see you at the Superdome, all right?
All right. Bye, guys.
Man. That was awesome.
All righty. That was definitely a fun show, but we do have some people now. I told them we'll bring them on so we can chat up with our normal, regular people that wasn't able to talk to them for a little bit, and then we'll end it shortly and head out of here. But we still got 80 plus people in here, so shout out to everybody that's been supporting the channel, the whole show, man. Everybody in the chat still in here.
Yes.
So we're gonna have.
Are you not entertained? Did you guys enjoy or what, man? That was
I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
That was
lovely.
Jerry enjoyed. He put we like that.
I
enjoyed it.
I had to tell him, y'all. I had to let them know that's the slogan. We like that for real.
Yes, sir. So we got my man. I don't know if y'all remember him. Y'all might remember him, and he has his own show as well. And I tell everybody he is the best commentary person out there. I try to tell everybody that because he does, AEW, he does MLB. NBA, NFL, you name it. He does it all for you. So let's bring on my man, Carlos, a.k.a. Uneducated Sports Talks, man. How you doing?
What's happening, y'all? What's good? What's good?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Oh, man. Hey, I'm blessed to be here. It's funny how things work, man. I was doing a baseball show, a stream just now, but the game I was doing got canceled because of weather delays for the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland sucks all around, so I figured my first time doing a Cleveland Guardians baseball game, a stream, and they shut down because of bad weather. So here we are. I said, well, look, I got free time now. Let me put a hoodie down, man. So we are here, man. Thank y'all for the love. I appreciate it, man.
What's up, brother?
No problem, man. So yes, I know you missed a little bit for the show because you was doing the baseball thing at first.
Much, man. I missed it all.
Hey, you missed it. It was great, but just know just know we will see Jameis 101 in person one day. We just don't know who he is. So if you see somebody and he just looks like him, just don't say nothing. Just
He's
wave at
probably
him.
telling the truth about being 6'3". I can feel the sincerity in his voice. I think he's like 6'3", a big old dude, and the way he talks. Ain't no little guy.
I don't talk like 6'3".
Ain't no little guy talking like that.
I talk like I'm 6'2".
It's a big old dude with that voice, man. Just saying, his voice is a big dude. I can't imagine no skinny little dude with that voice.
The funny thing is, this is what made me laugh. Because remember, he doesn't like to tell anybody, who he is. He likes to hold that behind some stuff. So I'm saying, I'm gonna have a little midget coming up to me. Hey, Hoodie Jube, I love the show.
Man, my bad. My stuff was on mute, bro. My bad, man. Hey, uneducated. Much love to you. Love your stuff, bro. I subscribe to your stuff too, bro, man. I'm subscribed to your channel, man.
Yes, sir. I'm subscribed to y'all as well, man. I'm subscribed to y'all as well, man. So thank y'all for the love. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm here, man. God works in mysterious ways, man. I'm doing the Cleveland Rangers and the Guardians game, and they say, all right, y'all. We done with this. The weather coming in bad, lightning everywhere, the thunder. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to Hoodie show, man. Let's go.
Shout out to Hoodie. Yes,
That's my dude.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
Yeah, I'll be checking y'all out, bro, for sure. I'll be checking y'all out, man.
Yes, sir, man. So what y'all been talking about, man? I know I'm late. I came in late just hearing Jameis one-on-one talk about towards the end, so I was kind of late, man. So I do apologize.
We talked about everything with James. He talked about everything, just the upcoming season, expectation, what he thought about the new acquisition, DA. We talked about what DA gonna do this year.
He might get next year.
Type of contract he gonna get next year, man. I love Jameis one of one, man, because like I said, he one of the biggest advocates. Shout out to man Tori. I like that the profile. Shout out to Hoodie Tori Shipper Senior, man. I'm my dog, man. But look at Kai, man. Look at that Denzel Washington. What up, Kai? Cobra Kai. We like that.
We like that.
Yeah, that's the slogan, bro, for the Saints. We like that. You know what I mean? We like that. Let them know that. We like that.
So what we're gonna do, man? I'm gonna bring the rest of the people on so we can have us a little round table. But everybody, when I bring y'all on, make sure y'all respect everybody. Make sure everybody has a chance to speak. Don't be talking over everybody. Let everybody talk. Have a good conversation. And if it does get a little tense sometimes, maybe over a conversation, man, just calm yourself. It's okay. We're Who That Nation together, baby. But let's bring on everybody. So we got Brother Prom back in here. We got a creation back. And we got my boy The Right back in here. And we got the one and only who created Hoodie Jube's intro, the hot boy Nola.
Popping with it, man.
Nola was good.
Put up my super chat. Hoodie, put up that super chat I just sent.
Yo, hold on.
See, I Nola, bro. I subscribe to your channel, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. That's the D. Much love to you, King.
I gotta get the rest of y'all though.
I see. Yeah, man. Hey, I like the intro too, man. Did your thing on that,
man. For y'all don't know, that's in reference to Star Trek and Stargate SG-1. That's all the bad guys.
Bro. All right, so
the Borg, the Goa'uld, and the replicators. The NFL better fear us.
They better fear us.
Say Nola, bro.
Like they better.
I could make an intro for you, dog, if you want.
Bro, we about to do. We got some stuff popping over behind the scene. Once we finish, we definitely can reach out, bro. Real talk. We definitely can reach out, man. Appreciate that, man. Oh yeah, but Brother Prime, they better fear us, dog, because it's gonna be too late. They can sleep and do all that extra stuff they want and all that hating, but at the end of the day, you can't deny greatness. And like I was telling James one-on-one, on every level, from offense to defense, we really stacked and we really like that, man. We got a lead on every position that you could think about. We done got better on defense. Offense that clearly got better. You went from throwing it to undrafted free agents to now you got a first rounder. You got a 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro receiver. It's about to be a different day, man. And Jameis about to ball out, man. So I'm ready for them. The NFL better be on the lookout. Facts.
And I just got to say this. And I just got to say this for all the Who That's out there. If we start off slow, don't worry, because you got to remember it's a 17-game season now, people. And that extra game makes a difference. And watch, we're going to get struck Kamara and May is going to get suspended in the middle of the season. Watch what I tell you. Right when we're about to go to that hard part of the schedule, supposedly after Oakland. Watch what happens. Watch it.
How y'all feel? How y'all feel about Odell coming to the Saints, man? You see people saying he finna sign.
I seen it was either the Saints or the Cleveland Browns. I think
the Rams. I think it'll be out of them.
The report that came out today, they got just us in Cleveland, but you right about the Rams too, because that's always an option for him. But I mean, if he come, he come. I wouldn't say no, but I think it'll be another addition, and injuries always happen. So I mean, shit, that's Odell Beckham. As long as we can stash him on ours and don't he ain't in the conference, we still doing good. But I like Odell, man. I don't have no problem with him, man. I think he'll be great. This receiving core is already good. He'll make us great.
That's a late season signing. Late season signing in case somebody get hurt.
Oh yes. That's what I love about it. So let's do this. So Nola, bro, Till, you said it. Inside of L, man, what would be your thought about the Odell? So we'll go around. We'll go to inside of L, uneducated, brother prom, got a creation, the right, and then we already heard what Hot Boy Nola was asking about it. So inside of L, man, what would be your thought if Odell was to sign with us? Would you be like, oh shit, I don't want him?
Let me tell you, Odell Beckham is a generational talent. Dude has skills. Just go put on some Odell Beckham tape, and you're going to change your mind if you feel like he shouldn't be here. I say we should bring him in, but it have to be the right time. I don't think he's going to be ready until the latter half of the season. Right. And around November sometime, I think he'll be ramping up. And if we can get the Odell that the Rams got in the playoffs, oh man, we cooking with grease. So bring him on. Bring him on home.
No.
And look, he could go dance in the city and everything. He like to dance. Let him go dance in the city. He can go cut up.
If we could get the Odell that played for the Giants, we pressure.
But we don't even come out of our pockets. But tell what, we don't even need that because we already pressure. You know what I'm saying? We already got that on us receiving core. We really, if we wanted to be dirty, could tell him, hey man, we like your Odell, but wrong time, like he did us last year. You know what I'm saying? And we don't blame him because we had Trevor Simeon throwing. I guess it's business because that's what he told us.
You gotta let that go.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just saying what I'm saying is we in a position now that we can tell him that. Like we can really say, you know what, you know what I'm saying? But
you can't be salty, man. You from Higgins, man.
Look, but check it out. I'm gonna mess your head up real quick. When all that stuff going on in the season, we losing everybody, all the injuries, everything. Y'all thinking Odell would have came in a couple of games in the end of the season, would have won some of them games, you know what I'm saying, and been in a better position and making a run? You don't think so? You don't think we only needed one game, Hoodie, to get in the playoffs.
But you seen the quarterbacks? You seen the quarterbacks? You seen no kicker?
Bro.
I don't know, man.
No quarterback.
No kicker. The kicker is gonna make that's gonna make a big difference. That's gonna make a big difference.
100%. Yep. But I'm off. D-right, I'm good, brother. I'm good on it. I ain't tripping on it. I'm just saying we in a position where we can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can turn the tables. But I say if he want to come on here. Come on.
Who y'all think was our best offensive player last year? Who was the best offensive player? I bet you none of y'all gonna guess it.
The best offensive player, Jameis Winston and Marquez Callaway.
No, after Jameis went down.
He went down. It would have to be Deontay Hardy or Callaway.
No, y'all wrong. The punter, because if it was for Gilligan, Gilligan put a lot of teams on the island.
But would he be considered defense?
Well, I'm gonna say adjacent.
All right. So I give it that Gilligan definitely had a good season. He definitely put us in great position.
How y'all feel about Aaron Donald? That man ain't never leaving the Rams, dog. They keep paying him big money. He ain't never going.
He got 2 more years. I seen he got shit. He just was talking. He wanted to retire, and then he sounded like he had peace.
And guess what? We better pay Kamara like we pay Aaron Donald, like they paying him. We better pay Kamara like that. Yeah,
Kamara got $20 million already.
He already.
Yeah, he got his money.
I'm saying I want him to be a Saints for life.
Oh, you talking about saying? Oh, you want him? Oh, extensions. I got.
He's here for another 5 years though. He just got paid last year, so he's here for at least another 5 years. So you good right now?
Right.
Yeah. We're good right now.
What about Michael Thomas though?
We're gonna see what we do this year.
All right, Thomas, he's on a big contract. He just got paid in 2019, so he's still here for another 2 or 3 years.
He owes for 2 years, so
right.
As far as Odell is concerned, I wouldn't be surprised. We have Odell signed for when we play against the Rams. That's all I'm gonna say on Odell. That's the November 20th game.
But the thing about it, the Rams want him back. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good, bro. You good. I'm more with Big homie Nola bro, man. I'm with him, man. Like Odell's a nice talent, but I'm like, we not begging this man to come over.
No, we don't have to do that.
I like that he could still come over and bolster our offense, which would be already strong if things go right. You know what I'm saying? How they're supposed to go. We got Jarvis Landry, we got Olave, man, we got Michael Thomas. If that all comes playing a part, if we're like just an extreme offense, we won't go out there begging or crying for Odell. It'll be Odell coming to us.
Yeah,
It'll be him coming to us saying, "Yo, I want to be part of this.
Right.
I want to be a part of this because you guys got something special." Like two ways it happens: either we're a dominant offense and Odell wants to come on there just to kind of tug along, or he doesn't come because we just, for some strange reason, suck, injuries, whatever happens, all the above, bad things happen, and he doesn't come. Outside of that, though, we don't need Odell, and I don't see Odell really crying or pleading to come.
Right. I feel the same way you feel.
But if he does, okay, more power to him, and we'll bring him on just in case of injuries or whatever. But if things go right, I mean, like, we were thrown to undrafted free agents all last year. A complete 180 for our team on the receiving hand. And we got weapons like crazy. And now guys like Callaway and even Hartley are not really mentioned anymore. And they were the top two receivers from last year. So OBJ coming in, it'll be nice if he's that same guy coming for the Rams and obviously the Giants days, whatever. But we're not going to him. He's got to come army crawl to us.
Right.
Yeah. Got to knock on that door and say,
right.
Please.
Baby, please.
We're not going out there. We stacked now. Like you said, he didn't come for us because of business. That's true. He didn't want Trevor Simeon throwing so, and I applaud him. He got a ring with LA. That's fine.
Hey, don't forget what
Stafford. Go ahead, Hoodie.
Don't forget what I said on my podcast the other night, and I'm gonna say it again right now for anybody that might have missed it. I tell people, we don't need them. We stacked right now. I love that saying that we stacked, right? But I tell everybody, this is the NFL. Injury does exist, right? And I said I had two perfect examples. Michael Thomas was my first example. Out for 2 years, just about. We don't know how that ankle is going to be when he comes back. He might re-injure it. He's out again. Jarvis Landry, perfect example, hurt finally for this first time ever, like where he had to stay out for 5 games. He missed 5 games last year. So injuries do exist. And OBJ himself, I'm saying, hurt himself, the past 2 years, same ACL injuries. So I tell people it's never too many. As a depth player or receiver, you might say, OBJ's not going to be a 4th receiver. He's not going to take all that bullshit. Hey, but guess what? He ain't coming to about November or December anyway towards the end of the season to help push that team into the playoffs and put some pass there to a Super Bowl like he did with the Rams. I think that's what he's going to do. And second of all, that means he'll probably be, our 3rd, maybe 2nd receiver because you have Michael Thomas, you have Jarvis Landry, OBJ, and Chris Olave.
He'd be situational, I think.
By that time, though, I think him come back in November or December, would you think that we have our lineup set already of who we have from a play-by-play breakdown, pretty much? If Odell Beckham comes in November, December, and we're really thriving already, we're not really if we're still not injured by November, December, we're not worried about injuries anymore. I mean, injuries happen. They happen. You never know when they're gonna happen. You never know what time. How it just happens. But by November, December, if he's healthy and we got our squad still going in, I think the last thing on our mind is injuries for Odell Beckham to come in. And if he does come in, he's going to be 4 or 5, honestly.
Right.
He's either number 1 or 2 or 3. I can guarantee you that because he's still coming off back-to-back ACL injuries, and he just wants to be a part of that squad. If something major injury-wise would occur, then you put him into that 3rd or 4th option. But he'll just come in for the taking the backseat because by that time, November, December, we should have our squad rolling. Hitting our stride with our guys.
And Chris Olave should be turned up too.
The best case scenario for OBJ to get a 3rd spot is if Chris Olave don't pan out.
Yeah, exactly.
What he's supposed to be.
Well, that's not good. I think he's going to pan out.
And then we might be thinking, okay, let's go get OBJ and make this run with OBJ.
But you're right. Man. That might be the only reason why we pursue OBJ. If we pursue him, because Olave is not panning out like we thought he would year 1. We're not going to panic, obviously, but it's year 1. So, and we're still. People don't want to believe it or admit it, but we are one of those teams that are Super Bowl or bust. Let's be real. We're
Yeah, we are. We
under
are.
the radar. The national media's not saying that, but we are under the pressure of
with the talent
Super
with the
Bowl.
talent we have. You're right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And a couple
But
I do have to ask
national
y'all something.
media isn't saying that. So Olave, we're putting a lot on Olave right now for year one. If he doesn't pan out, he's a rookie. If he doesn't pan out, then yes, we
still
probably
have
go for OBJ in November or December.
Hey, let me ask y'all
But
something.
Olave looks like he's the real deal.
Oh, he ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
For
Let me ask
Yeah,
y'all a
yeah,
question. It's 11, right? You can have 11 men on the field. You just can't have more than you can't have 12.
11.
Right? It's 11.
Yeah, you have to
All
have
right,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
'cause I was thinking this in my head the other night. And I said it's 11 or 12, so it's 11 men on the field. Now let me ask y'all this. So you got 5 offensive linemen. You know, left tackle to the right tackle. That's 5. Jameis Winston is 6. Kamara's in the backfield next to him line up in a shotgun formation. That's 7. And then you have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, and OBJ on the field. How you gonna start that? How you gonna start that?
That's crazy.
Who you got it?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's never too many.
Lord.
It ain't. It that's what it's saying, and that's because exactly what you're saying. It's never too many, just like DNs and just like cornerbacks. It's never too many, 100%. And injuries occur. It happens. It's no way around it. You're gonna get injured. Somebody's gonna get injured. We don't know when or what's gonna happen. So that's gonna happen. So you can never. And dog, if we add them, that's just lanyap. You from the city? That's lanyap. All that is just extra.
Think about Tampa was lining up. Tampa had Godwin, Evans, and Antonio Brown. Not to mention Gronkowski and Leonard Fournette. So
right.
The more the merrier. The more
Well,
the merrier.
well, you know our
right
secret
now.
weapon is, right? Our secret weapon is going to be that brother we got from Rice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the punter again.
No, the brother we got from Rice, the running back that played running back and linebacker.
Oh, you talking about from Baylor? From Baylor?
Yeah.
Talking about Avery Smith? Yeah. Yep.
Right, because right now he not making no noise in minicamp, but watch when you put them pads on.
Because because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think Dennis Allen is gonna be as arrogant as Sean Payton was, because Sean Payton would play against a team that was good against the run but bad against the pass, but we would run the ball against them. And I think Dennis Allen is going to be much wiser, and he's going to game plan to whereas if we're playing against a team that's good against the pass, we're going to run the ball to open up the pass, and then vice versa. And that's how I feel about that. And you see, a lot of people not giving our OC a lot of credit because
they don't know him.
Because I really think he was making a lot of calls, and it was the thing that Sean Payton was doing. He was the man when I was making these mysterious calls at the wrong time.
Yep.
And I don't think Dennis is gonna say that. And Dennis already said he want to have a good running game.
Yep.
Well, you gotta understand,
The old trickster.
Dennis played conventional football. You know what I'm saying? Dennis is a conventional type guy, and the people that Dennis brings in, he wants all versatility players. That's all he wants. And the reason why you get players like that is because when you scheme, if everybody is smart enough to play the scheme, then you can put versatility in the game, and the defense really don't know how to adjust to your offense. Like I heard him say the other day, somebody asked him, they say, well, do you think, and I love the man's mentality, because Sean Payton would have never had this mentality. He said, they say, do you think you'll have time to focus on the offense knowing you're a defensive guy? He said, the 2 dudes I got running my defense.
Facts.
Yes.
The 2
That's
dudes
my guys, basically.
He said, that's me over there.
Yeah.
So what I can focus on is being that detailed on my offense. And when you saw this man at practice, he wasn't over there by the defense at all, because they know him.
Yeah,
he was right there with the receivers.
Take quiet. Take quiet. I didn't like that. They're right. Hey, first of all, you're right.
You know, and I was like, you know what? Look at this dude, and look at how. And the reason why I say that is because when you think about the way this man thinks, when you think about this man was doing this in Denver, how you think what's his name got to the playoffs and beat the Steelers? Dennis Allen's defense did that for him. Dennis Allen's defense did that. So when you think about it, bro, the dude that we got that is coaching us, bro, his the way how smart, how detailed he is. I mean, come on, Sean Payton, bro.
And he come from a coaching lineage. His dad
bro,
was a coach.
Sean Payton. you put this man, he had to take his number one, basically, defense and carry your number 31st offense.
Hey, and you're right.
Like Atlas.
I'm with you on that because I know his main thing is preparation. If you hear Dennis Allen talk, he talk about preparation. So if he could beat you in the preparation game, he feel like he already won with the players that he got.
So, you know, so when you just look at it just from the perspective of, okay, how good is this man is going to be? This man is looking at Pete Carmichael, and when him and Pete Carmichael sit down, it won't be that Pete Carmichael take the back seat because of the fact that Sean Payton is going to carry the big.
What you got, Pete? What you
No,
got?
he's going to walk up to Pete and say, so let me hear what you got. And when Pete break it down to him, he go like, okay, let's go to the field with it. And when he look at it, because you know what he going to do? He going to put it against his defense.
Hell yeah.
Come test it.
He going to put it against Chris and your boy. And if it doesn't look good over there,
it ain't gonna look
good. It ain't gonna look good.
It ain't gonna look good. There you go.
And see, that's what people not looking at, man. Dennis is not the type to sit back and say, look, I failed once. I ain't failing twice.
I ain't doing it again. I'm going to get Jarvis Landry. I'm going to jump up in the draft and get my guy. I'm going to get him straight out of the box. Go, Olave. It's your turn. Now you 100% right.
All of this media
right.
talking about Dennis Allen and how we gonna miss Sean Payton. Dennis Allen is already winning the game off the field by forming his team, by getting the versatile players, like you said, by having two defensive coordinators that he trusts and that he know gonna run his defense like he needed to be run, by getting Pete Carroll to come back. Pete Carroll to come back after he was about to leave. He winning the game.
I need you, Pete. I need you, Pete. Hey, he walking into the best
LSU
position.
guys.
Picking up LSU guys.
What?
I was LSU guys into it. And now, bro, I got really excited when I heard this, and I know y'all got excited. In the inside, they asked Jarvis Landry, what do you think about Cody Barnes?
Man, what?
Jarvis said, I've been in the league
9 years.
And this dude teaching me things about the vision of the field that I
be seeing the field a little different. I like that. Yeah. He ain't had to say that. He could have said, I like him.
Right. He
Man,
said,
say
this
I'm
man
9
is
years.
teaching me things about the vision, and I can see the field that I had never heard before.
Smart guy, detailed.
Bro, the first thing I said Dennis Allen, bro, you a beast, bro.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen is a beast because the people that he bringing in, he's like, yo, I want excellence.
He got number safety nets around him. He could do more. No, he's walking into the best coaching position of maybe a top 5 of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he walking into with a built team that's core. Like I said, he didn't go into a team that, I was so trash. We're so trash, we had to hire another head coach. A head coach retired on him. His core was there. His front office is amazing. Already had a top 5 defense, top 5 special team. Now you add the firepower and go after. You got, and must I gotta say it again. You got a front office, a great front office that knows what they're doing. Sean left. Jeff Harlan didn't leave. Kai Hartley didn't leave. Mickey Loomis didn't leave. All that is still in play for Dennis. So if you comparing Dennis with the Raiders to Dennis now, it's night and day. You can't do it.
And that's why I compared him to Mike Tomlin taking over for Bill Cowher.
Right. Bro, anybody that's not a Saints fan don't understand how that team's still intact.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, they did that to us last year with Drew. They thought we was gonna fall apart when Drew was gone. We had to remind them, listen, we 8-1 without a Drew. It's not Drew. It's everything around Drew. It's everything around Drew. And when we talk about Sean, Pete is Sean. He is the third chef. It was Sean, Drew, and Pete through every spot. And not to mention, when he had to call plays, he had the Saints the top 5 offense.
Oh yeah,
2012. We all
I always say the most points that we ever put up was on the Pete Carmichael.
On the Petey.
Right.
Come on, Petey.
Now we have another big.
We already had the luxury of having Pete Carmichael call plays.
Everything you do that happens in the past prepare you for the future.
Honestly,
and you see, gentlemen, go ahead.
When Allen brought back Carmichael, because at first Carmichael was on a record of saying, I don't know if I want to do this, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to kind of step down. And I was concerned. I was like, I didn't know that. I thought from the jump, it was Allen telling Carmichael to sit your ass down.
Right,
I don't like that. But then Carmichael came back, and I was like, yo, okay. I like this from Allen. And that was the first move, in my opinion, that made me go, this could be something good, because he brought back Pete Carmichael, because that was a Sean Payton guy. I thought that Allen was trying to get rid of that kind of mentality, the Sean Payton mentality, but no, he brought Carmichael back in, and that from that point on, I was sold. Then everything else that happened after that was just butter and brilliance. So I'm like, okay, I'm good now. I'm with you. I'm with you. 100%. I love it. Carmichael came back, and he knew that. Okay, I'm a defensive guy. But Carmichael is still 2012. He had the top 5 offense. It was just our bottom 2 defense. That hurt us big time that year. But
I'm gonna tell you.
He said, "I got Carmichael here, and he's shown he can call plays with the best of them, right? And yes, he's a Sean Payton guy, but Sean's not here anymore. He's a Pete Carmichael man now. Carmichael with a Sean Payton sort of mentality, but it's still Pete Carmichael. He's the main guy, and I like that trust he put into Carmichael, bringing him back in, and probably having a conversation with him, saying, look, just apply for the job, man. Come back, apply for the job, because right now you are my forefront to win this job for sure. But I need you to come on there and apply for it. I did have that conversation.
I was with you when you said that, bro. Like, cause when I was under the impression, like, Dennis Allen was like, listen, Pete, I'm good on it. I'm turning a new leaf. I don't want this offense or none of that. But him bringing Carmichael back and him needing that told me a lot. And I'm like, because I know he said he want to smart, he want to run the ball. So I'm thinking, oh man, he want to take it old school, just running it, dig and dump. Shit, he bring Pete back. You didn't draft Olave, Michael Thomas coming back. You didn't got old fucking Jarvis Landry, Callaway.
Like the fireworks, huh?
And you see what y'all gotta look at also. And I said this a couple of times before, and I'm gonna say it again. If you look at the wide receivers and you look at the cornerbacks on both sides of the ball, they're interchangeable.
Yes, sir.
You can move them around, and they can't key on anybody.
I wanted to tell you that, and when you said that, I wanted to say vice versa when you said that. It's a positionless era. We talked about this. The world is going to that as far as basketball and football. I say the world, but that's what it's going to 100%. You could go on that defense with the positionless. That's going to give offense so much trouble with Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, CD Deuce, PJ Williams, Roby, all of them. You don't know what's happening. All of them are blitzing to come for your ass. Listen, man, it's about to go down. But hey, brother Prime, you 100%. Both sides of the ball are positionless.
And not only that, if you look at the trenches, you look at the offensive line,
D-line too,
and the D-line, they're interchangeable. Especially the D-line, you could be moving everybody.
Slide your big ass inside. Let's go.
Because Hurst played guard and tackle. Hurst played guard and tackle.
And Pete and just Pete, who we give hell to. I bet we'll want his ass last year after everything we went through. We didn't want him to be healthy last year, but Pete too. He was the first one, a versatile offensive line playing tackle and all that. So come on, man. Come on, you're right, brother Prime.
Like Jamal said, he mentioned about who is the guard tackle that they signed a 3-year deal. There must be something special about it.
Jeff Ireland seeing you don't sign no guard tackle just 3 years. It's some Jeff Ireland seeing it. I can't wait to see it too. I can't wait to see it too.
Everybody know, bro, the type of they said. Well, I heard this said. The attitude of the defense is Dennis Allen's attitude.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Bro, this Dennis Allen team, baby.
So if the attitude of the defense is Dennis Allen's attitude, could you imagine that nastiness he gonna bring on offense? It ain't gonna be no, we beat you 21-0.
We stomping you.
And we at the goal line, but I'm a kneel on the ball.
Every person that we brought in was an alpha. Every man that we brought in was a dog.
Indeed, we seen some of that in the 9-0 win that Dennis Allen coached last year. We seen what type of team that we could look forward to seeing. Tough, physical. We ain't taking nobody's shit. And we not letting you score. That's the goal. We're not trying to let you score a point. Like 100%. Not 1 point. I don't care who our quarterback is. We got this. And I love that. How he man, that was a perfect game coach. Sean Payton wasn't there, and we shut out Tom Brady.
9-0. You can't score 9 points.
And Brady is a year older, and he gonna feel like he's 45 this year. Watch what I tell you.
Nobody brings that up. Nobody brings that up, and they don't bring up Chris Godwin being still hurt, and they don't bring up Ty Bowles taking over for Bruce Aaron, but they bring it up on us. And all that shit matter with us, but it don't matter over there. Tom Brady, 45 years old. Bitch, you try to run. Cam came back and made your ass fumble. He thought he lost his marbles. You ever see Peter Pan? He was on the ground looking for his marbles. He didn't know what was going on.
Life alert. Look like a life alert commercial.
A street is gonna fall on him, and he's gonna see nothing but smoke.
Man, Davenport gonna give him the blues.
I mean, if you go player for player, Bucks and Saints, you go player for player, position by position. My dude, we are there.
Yeah,
if you want to go to quarterback position and say Brady over Winston, that's fine, but it's not a big old gap like people are assuming right now. All that bull crap about Jameis being the 26th ranked quarterback, stop that. Stop that. I don't know who made it up, man. They should be fired. Chris said, man, stop, Chris. He's stupid. I heard about it a couple days ago. Like, stop that, man. But we talk about Brady and Winston. Yes, Brady's still the more accomplished and more polished quarterback, but Jameis ain't too far away. Now, okay, that might be your only difference. Look from the receiving core to our running back, to our D-line, to our secondary. First of all, defense is head and shoulders above Tampa Bay's defense. All right,
clearly.
But receiving core, we're better.
Yep.
O-line, we're better, if not right there with Tampa Bay.
Running back,
we are better. You know what I'm saying?
Go back to that quarterback, because we can't talk about what Brady did in the past and all this other shit. You telling me he got a better arm than
not at all.
Arm than James? You telling he more mobile than Jameis?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Jameis got a pocket pressure. Man, listen, it better
we beat them twice. We beat them twice last year with two different no-name quarterbacks and two decent wide receivers.
All right. And this is the thing. Brady have a lot less weapons this year. So we really about to see what Tom Brady is made of this year. With a new head coach, he don't have Bill Belichick to bail him out. He don't have Antonio Brown to bail him out. For now, he don't have Gronkowski to bail him out. So we about to see what Brady
we don't know if he's gonna get Gronk back.
That's what I said for now. For now,
I heard I seen a report that he was coming back right before training camp.
He felt his age in that last game when we beat him 9-0. Gronk felt his age that
I'm about to tell you, Davenport, don't you put him to block Davenport 1-on-1? You crazy? He almost took his ribs out and gave it to him. What's wrong with you?
And Tampa Bay's D-line has been really good. But I'm talking about most of their secondary, David Jones. Their secondary cannot and will not ever match up with New Orleans secondary at all.
No.
And that is head and shoulder. Now, you talking about when Sue was there last year, with those other guys, Vita Vea. Yeah, they have a great D-line, a front four with Pierre, Shaq Barrett there. But secondary, head and shoulders, we are clearly the better secondary. So their D-line can probably for a second, maybe, but we have so many guys who are versatile on our D-line. We can throw 6-7 guys in there over the last couple of years now. And now we got a Peyton Turner coming in who might be a year better than what he was last year. And healthy. So, I mean, we got guys who can just dominate as Tampa Bay. We're talking about this year now. I don't see it. The secondary still don't see it, but top to bottom, defense, we are head and shoulders above Tampa Bay.
Levante David getting older.
He wasn't the same last year. He wasn't the same last year. I say that. Listen, people think I just said when 101 was on here. I was saying this, bro. Don't be surprised if Carolina come for that number 2 spot over Tampa Bay. I'm telling you, that'd be them boys. They young. They got a lot of potential over there. They just gotta put it down. That is, but I'm just telling you, I don't believe in the Bucks like that. I don't believe in that. Like, I don't believe. And then if you don't win a division, I feel like if you don't win a division, Bucks is over for you because every other division is stacked too. And I don't know if you're gonna get. They might, but they might. But I'm just saying, I see them going number 2, but that's just my bold prediction.
Let's keep it real though. When the Bucks won the Super Bowl, they were the wild card, but there was no home field advantage.
Right.
When they played in New Orleans, they played in front of 17 people. You know what I'm saying?
It's some
yeah. So I mean, yeah. There is so you better get your home field advantage at Tampa Bay. You better get it because if not, we coming dumb for you.
Yes,
because if you come to the Dome with this squad in the playoffs, it's over.
Well, over. Let's be real.
Just keep it real. It's over.
Let's be real. The Saints, when we go to Atlanta, that's our Dome. When we go to Tampa, that's our field. It don't matter where we go.
Yeah, we hold it down. We travel great. We travel great.
And the sad part is, he's right about that. I mean, he go to Atlanta. They Falcons fans. They expect this might be an L. This might be an L.
They know the deal.
Expect that.
And now Tampa is starting to do the same, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
They say automatically, bro, we know we're not going to beat the Saints this year. No, you're not.
Real talk.
That's a given.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna beat the Saints this year.
That's just sad, man. I know a few Falcons fans, and they're like, "Yeah, man, we don't expect too many dubs when y'all come to town." Man.
If y'all look at it, the NFL really don't have any faith in the Buccaneers because why are we not playing them again this year on Sunday night?
Because they
don't want us to embarrass them again.
Primetime games,
back-to-back years.
Bro, they lost too much money, and they're like, nah,
38-3 and 9-0.
They don't.
Tom Brady scored 3 points the last 2 times he played us on Sunday night.
Had Snoop looking stupid and everything. Yeah,
47-3 total. They don't want to see the
division on the line. One of the division was on the line, and the second one, the division could have been on the line if we ain't hit that 5-game losing streak.
Right, exactly.
Yep. It should have been.
But we embarrassed them too bad, man.
The NFL saving them. All the networks saving it. But like fam, we keep saying after week 5, a lot of games gonna get flexed. So once we on that
we'll be a part
5,
of it.
I'm about to tell you, we're gonna be the main candidate when we get that 6-7 game winning streak. Cause y'all remember that year when we was 8-9 game winning streak? I can see it.
Hit them
I can see it. I can see it. So once we on that, they gonna start jumping on the ship and flexing those games.
Ain't no way in hell we ain't got a single Sunday night game.
Crazy,
man, I was like, yo, I mean, I don't really be tripping, but it's a respect factor. Like, y'all really don't respect us like that? Because that's usually the prime time game of the other week, Sunday Night Football. And you don't have the Saints in either one. Damn a Monday night game, because the hell the damn Jets play on Monday night every now and then. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't care about Monday or no Thursdays. Everybody play on Thursday.
That's Sunday night.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. And that's like, okay, well, I guarantee we're going to play at least 2 Sunday night games. And I'm not even counting week 18. We're not counting week 18. I guarantee we'll play 2 Sunday night games before. Flexing. They'll flex us in for 2 games. Oh, yeah. Because they have no choice to. When they see us at that, when they see us at, boy, these guys are 10-2 right now. Man, God, we got to throw them in there against whoever it may be. I mean, it's obvious.
Our ratings to go up.
Obvious, man. Yeah, so they're not crazy, and it's before week 18. And I told guys I don't want to play on week 18. That means you either go into the playoffs or you're not. That last game, we don't want to play the game. So
we want to already be in position, ready to kick.
You'll be in position already. So I'm saying, like, we'll have Sunday night games before week 18.
I don't know if y'all realize. I'm gonna say 2 more things. I'm gonna let your brothers go. By week 10, we would have played all the AFC teams already that we were supposed to play. By week 10.
You say AFC?
Yeah. Because we played the Bengals, then we played the Cardinals, then we played the Raiders, the Ravens, and then the Steelers, and we're done with the AFC. And I've always been a believer. I don't care about AFC games. Because when it comes to head up, you worry about NFC games.
Right. So conference and division, right.
So I say I'm 14-3 in Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
Hey man, listen.
And I'm out of here. Y'all brothers be good.
Much love, brother Prime, and I agree. And I approve that message.
Hey yo, check this out. When I sit there and I listen to the analysts talk about, they don't have Sean Payton no more. Because when all the chaos and everything that they went through, Sean Payton kept that group together. Because that's the talking point.
Now they want to talk about the chaos.
Right. But what they don't understand that we know as Saints fans, when that big hurricane ordeal happened, it was the leaders of the team that got together, that shipped stuff from point A to point B, that made sure that this group was okay, that made sure that that group was okay. It was those boys that got together. And the Saints brought in more leaders.
Right.
Do they honestly think that Dennis Allen won't be respected the way that defense respect him?
Yes. You saw what Jameis said. You saw what Jameis said. The leader amongst men. You know what he said. The intensity they bring on the defense, he bring on the exactly.
And when you think about it like that, the defense respect the ground he walks on, and the majority of the people on offense love Jameis and respect the ground he walks on. So where in that mix of where you say, well, they lost Sean Payton, yeah, but they still got all them vets, and they brought in more vets.
Right. And toward the point more for defense-wise, I mean, you take on the identity of your defensive coach more towards offensive guys, but for defense, you take on the identity of your defensive coordinator for the most part. And if you look at Dennis Allen,
you take on the identity of your head coach.
Exactly that too, but for a defense versus offense standpoint, for a defense usually takes on their identity of the D coordinator. Because Sean Payton didn't spend too much time in that defensive room. Let's be honest. He didn't spend too much time. He put it all on Dennis Allen. Because if that was the case, then 2012 and 14 and 15 and 16, that identity wasn't so good with Sean Payton there because our defense is trash. But I'm saying you take on the defensive coordinator's identity. Dennis Allen, if you see him, he's a $170. No small guy. If you saw him at Walmart, oh man, look at him and his wife, his children are so adorable. But then obviously you hear from guys on the offense, guys in the defense room, they're like, this dude is a monster. Right. Don't get it twisted. But I want to see a in-season Hard Knocks of New Orleans Saints. Because Dennis Allen, from what I'm hearing, is he will get in your ass. You know, and he about that life and about that business. And you can tell by the way our defense plays with a chip on our shoulder that we get it all from Dennis Allen. So it's weird because you see him and you look at his face like it's not a scary dude, but behind the scenes, if you got guys like DeMario Davis giving them buku praise. You got guys like Cam Jordan giving them buku praise.
CD Deuce loves this dude.
Guys like CD Deuce, like you said, loving him. Tyron Matthew coming in there already saying, man, this dude here. This dude, Jarvis Landry saying he's opening my eyes.
Alpha males recognize alpha males, bro.
Exactly. And to my point,
you can't fool it. Ain't no playing around with it.
He's an alpha male. He doesn't look like it, but boy, behind the scenes, that dude is an alpha.
Respect is commanded.
Yep. Exactly.
And you know what's so crazy?
You know who waiting to see who an alpha male? We waiting to see a Pete Carmichael an alpha male.
He probably not.
We about to see
this. He waiting to see, bro. Real talk.
He probably a mad scientist. He probably not an alpha male. He probably just a mad scientist.
We saw it.
Look, I believe in Pete Carmichael.
I do too.
But we also know Pete Carmichael like playing the backfield. You know what I mean? He do. He's more comfortable on that role. But I'm really interested to see what he's gonna bring to the table this year, bro.
I don't think we need him. I don't think we need him to do that. But you know what's so crazy? I think Dennis is gonna do better without Sean than Sean did without Dennis. If that makes sense.
I believe that.
Dennis gonna do better without Sean than Sean did without Dennis. Because like you said, yeah, we had that good year, whatever. But look at our top five. But look at our defense for them last years. Remember them defense for years. We struggled bad. But I don't think we're gonna struggle because we still have part of that top five offense in Pete Carmichael, and then you add Dennis, the coach, seeing everything, Chris Rashad, Ryan Nielsen, all that in there, man. So it's all good. What up, Slim South, baby?
Hey, bro. If you ask me, bro, it's been Dennis Allen team for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
it's been Dennis Allen team, bro. Because to me, hey, bro, real talk. To me, Sean checked out a while ago, bro. He was there. He was still being Sean. But I don't think his heart was like talking about.
Right, I think that's truthful because you can see it. Like when by the time like he was retiring, it seemed like he was like, you know, like it's like that big breath when you done working out. It's like, I'm done. He's like, oh, thank God.
He went through it already. He went through all the remote. Yep.
Right.
You agree. I agree.
And look, he gonna do a year of television, bro. And he going right back to coaching, bro. I promise you.
Bring the picks. Bring the picks. Bring them with you. Bring the picks with you. Thank you.
That's right.
We'll take it. We'll take some more. We already gave up.
Hey, but like I tell everybody, bro, Sean ain't gonna win a game in New Orleans. If he do, it's gonna be a dog fight. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
I'm letting you know all that shit go out the window. You come to you go against New Orleans. We on
bro,
your ass.
You gonna see Sean and the players jarring on the sideline, guaranteed.
Yeah.
We on your ass. Bro. Look, Sean. You fuck around, go to a team like the Cowboys or something, boy. If these ever,
bro, you know that's where he going.
Hey, listen. If he go, we on his ass. Pause. That's it.
Hey, that's real talk. If Sean Payton go to Cobb, bro, we on his ass.
Yeah, I'm hearing two teams. What's worse though? Sean Payton going to the Cowboys or Sean Payton going to the Panthers? They see him twice a year.
Cowboys. Sean Payton going to Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Exactly.
I'd rather bust his ass
because they've been talking that noise. They've been talking that noise.
He ain't going.
He ain't going to say DA twice a year.
Sean Payton ain't coming to the division, dog. He already know how that gonna end. He ain't coming to the division.
Yeah. What you say, think about it.
Will Jerry Jones give Sean Payton that kind of clout?
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Eventually he gonna build a team.
Bro, Sean Payton is the coach that the Dallas Cowboys been wanting.
If he go to Carolina, he ain't gonna be nothing. If he go to Dallas, they might make some noise because they got weapons over there. Don't get me wrong.
And they're gonna allow Sean to do what Sean do.
Right.
It's no longer gonna be the Jones show.
He better.
Bro, Sean come to Dallas with that type of clout. Real talk.
Hard to say that, boy, because if that boy go to Jerry Jones and talk about, I'm gonna shake your cold drink up and open it.
Right. And that's why I always say, like,
but that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of clout that Sean gonna walk in there with.
You in control of everything. Why would you lead the Saints when you have a core, you have all that? You ain't playoff contention.
Hey, I think we all can say Sean Payton looking at what's going on. It was like, damn, I could do something with that. You can't even lie, bro.
Oh yeah,
he's talking about it for sure.
Hey, Dennis Allen showed Sean up. Like, if we want to be honest, like Dennis Allen showed what this is what everything we wanted, we got. Christmas list. You heard me? Like everything we wanted, we got.
But you know what? This is not Sean. This is not Sean Payton. This is Dennis Allen looking at Dennis Allen and saying, "Yo, Mickey Loomis, you know what I want?" And Mickey said, "Let me do this, because if you let me do this, I got you." See them picks, that Turner picks and all that. That wasn't Mickey,
bro. But Turner's still a good acquisition,
right?
Like I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about that boy this year, bro.
Just the timing of it, you know.
I got you.
How you go two DNs back to back? Wait, that means that you failed in the previous. You know what I'm saying? So with
hey, I was appreciative of the fact knowing, and now I don't look at it as it failed. Peyton Turner is a Cam Jordan clone. They built the same.
Right.
So that pick was necessary to keep us going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%. I agree.
I can see that.
We built for the we definitely built for.
Yeah. He was a future piece. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? So I was good with that Peyton Turner, bro. Peyton Turner is a great acquisition to our line this year, bro. That we're not even talking about. Like, he ain't getting no talk. I mean, half of that because he was hurt and he didn't do nothing. But boy, when he was on the field, you saw it.
Carolina Jameis had a great game.
Oh yeah.
That Carolina game, bro. That was the only bright spot.
Yep. It was basically like a red shirt year for him. It's a red shirt year, but now he coming back. I hope he come fully healthy. I think around training camp he's gonna be great. Hey, real quick, any of you family members going to mini camp, not training camp, mini camp? You know they did an open practice. They're doing an open practice for mini camp coming June 15th. Anybody heard about that?
Yo, man.
No, I didn't hear about it, but I plan on going. I plan on going to one of the practices in mini camp.
June 14th to 15th, I think the training camp will be, I think, in August of July, late July, early August, like between 23rd. That's my birthday, July 23rd, to like the 15th or 17th of August.
All right, fellow Leo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Put it out there, you know.
No,
They gotta throw it out there.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, fellas, July 28th, you heard me?
Hey,
Yeah, 'cause
fellas.
I'm supposed to be
I
flying
see
out
y'all.
next
Y'all,
month.
I appreciate talking to all y'all. I gotta head out.
Yes,
Much
sir.
love.
Things to do, but appreciate talking to all y'all. It was
Yeah,
good
Yeah.
talk. Good
love.
chat.
All right,
And do
L.
that to everybody. You heard
Much
me?
love.
Who
Who
that?
that,
Who
man?
that?
Much love.
Yeah,
Much love.
L.
I got
That's
a
what's up.
couple of minutes too, man. I got a couple if I head out, but
Oh yeah.
man, I just think this shit
Hey,
gonna be
I
special,
appreciate
bro.
y'all coming on, bro. I really appreciate
Man,
y'all
man.
content and giving everybody a platform. Real talk.
Man, much love, man.
That goes out to you, Hoodie.
Nola
Shout
Bros.
out to Hoodie, man. Yes, indeed. If y'all haven't followed, man, follow us. I put the link in the chat. We know the bros. That's my brothers, man. We've been best friends since 03. That's when we was in middle school, you know what I'm saying? And we just bring our passion, our love for the game to everybody. It's in a group chat, but we talk about this and we love just like everybody else. So, man, I just appreciate everybody who ever subscribed, like, viewed, or anything like that. Y'all check us out at Nola Bros, man. It's the passion, that energy y'all gonna love, man.
Hey, bro, I ain't much gonna lie. I listen to y'all and I like both of y'all. I haven't subscribed. I need to subscribe,
Go do
bro.
it, bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
I already
Go do
did
it.
it. That's the subscribe button. Here's my thing. It's just the fact that from the way this offseason has been so magical right now, and I do say that word magical. I know it's Disneyland, Disney World, whatever, but it's felt very magical this year because we haven't had an off season like this in a while. The only time we had a bright spot was our 2017 draft, right?
Right.
The draft was that was a
And
bright spot.
Lattimore
But
and Kamara.
yeah. That draft was our bright spot when it came down to like a big moment for us, right? But we've had so far the off season, the entire off season. I'm talking about bringing Carmichael in there. We're talking about Dennis Allen getting the job, obviously. Carmichael being the OC for us staying there. We talk about the entire draft. Did we talk about the players we picked up after the draft? I mean, we had
that's the extension of
You
the
talking
draft,
about
bro.
the personal trainer, like the doctor, getting that doctor from Alabama.
Yep.
Right.
Medical
Thank
team
you.
from
Thank you. Michael Thomas,
the
having that
conditioning
combo
coach
with,
or something like that.
Yeah, we need that bad because guys are dropping like flies. So we need some conditioning going. But the combo with the trust that these guys have in Dennis Allen, the guy that we say, he's our head coach. Him and Michael Thomas squashing whatever kind of beef was in there in the facility, whatever kind of squashing that. Like everything seems like it's going according to plan. Now, to us as Saints fans, as New Orleans Saints fans, the organization talked about them. Now, mind you, outside of New Orleans, as a Saints fan, outside of Louisiana, these guys out there in the national media, they ain't gonna say nothing. But boy, they are in for a rude awakening.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you. Look, because mind you, how many years have we gone and we haven't gone 2-0? Right? In
the beginning of the season. Yeah.
In the beginning, like how many years in a row? It's been like I figured like 9 years
It's
in a row.
been too many years. We keep dropping them early games.
I think last year was our first one. Then we lost to Carolina. That's a repeat cycle.
So I got a feeling that streak ends this year.
Yes, sir.
Atlanta.
So what you talking about? 8-0,
Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
We gotta win.
Right?
We gotta win.
3 straight division games. 3-0. And when that happens, especially at that Tampa Bay game, guess what? They all come running. Oh, this team is everything that we thought they would be. No, wait. Keep that same
energy.
Right. So everything is falling into place for our squad right now. And it's a magical offseason. And it feels like if we don't get off to a good start, it won't be for the lack of trying.
Right.
So I felt that.
Bro, like even if we don't, we still gonna end up where we need to be.
I can ask y'all a question.
Like real talk.
I can ask y'all a question.
Go ahead.
With the moves that Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis been making, right?
Yeah.
What y'all think Sean Payton thinking right now?
Tell me he don't want to come back.
Sean Payton thinking.
Would Sean make those moves though? I know about to say would Sean have made those moves?
No.
So he probably saying, well, this guy is crazy.
Hey, I tell you what Sean would have done. Sean would have signed Tommy Lee Lewis to another deal.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Say it again.
Tommy Lee Lewis, number 11. Well, he can't be number 11 no more. Number 4, what is he now? He would be number 1. I don't know. I forgot. 80. maybe 88, I don't know, 87, I can't think. Anyways, but he would have Tommy Lee Lewis once again as our fifth string wide receiver. I'm just saying.
Because Bill Parcells said he's special. But leave me alone.
Leave me
alone, bro.
I could win with anybody.
Yeah.
You want one
Super
Bowl.
And that Eagle stopped us from winning.
And we love it.
We won. We won one, but we should have won 3 or 4.
Real talk. I got a question for y'all. Something to think about. Till, Uneducated, Hoodie, my guy, Paulo, God, Sim, all you guys, and my man, 101.
And LeBlanc. All right.
Since we got that boy in from Alabama, do you think that he's the reason why that Michael Thomas not practicing yet? Because of the fact of how good he is. And
you talking about the guy that the doctor, right?
Rule. And because of how talented he is, and because of how smart he is, do you think that he's like, you know what, Mike? You like
no, bro. You know what? Honestly, bro, I think it's because Mike needs to be taken slow with. I think he's weaning off that injury, bro.
And before you go out there and hurt yourself,
I
need you to do this exercise, work on this, work on that, work on this, and work on that. Peyton Turner, I want you to work on this, that, and that, because these are those soft injuries that make you that brings you back out to the, these are things that gets you injured.
100%.
So,
look at Alabama.
Hey, let me ask y'all a quick question. What was special about that, Doc? There was something like he was like the healthiest team.
Soft injuries.
He's the best in the country.
He's really good at dealing with soft tissue injuries.
Tremendously. They were tremendously exactly what we needed. And that's probably, and y'all don't forget, it's June right now. July is next month. We're gonna see Michael Thomas. It don't make sense for him to rush around. I know we're excited by Jameis, but it's different for Jameis. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole different core. He's trying to get into rhythm.
We need our guys to be healthy, bro.
We need them to be healthy. So it don't make sense for us to take a picture. But the fact that Michael Thomas is in the building, that's more important than
bro. That says a lot because last year, bro. Honestly, I don't think Mike Thomas cut for Sean like that. After Sean kind of threw him under the bus.
Yeah,
he took.
You know what I'm saying? And then he came out and made that tweet. I think it's a relief for Mike Thomas to say that Sean is gone. I really feel that. Real talk.
He got tired of giving them Jordans and everything else. So I get
that shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got time for that nigga. Nigga at home instead of coaching up the team, he at home working on his gritty. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, and the fact that when they was talking about, I forgot which brother said it, but DA going out there into LA meeting with Michael Thomas, that was a lot. To tell him, listen, we committed to this. It's a lot, man. Michael Thomas also.
But that let you know that the relationship was growing bad, and it needs to be mended. Because 100%. If you already on a team and it's already good, you ain't got to do that. But to do that, let you know a lot, bro. Like there was something going on behind the scenes, and we all can feel it. We all can feel it.
And that's what I say a lot about DA and the man he is. Man, look, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to talk to you direct. That remind me, I'm a Pelicans diehard too. It remind me of Willie Green when he had the guy. Who that from?
That's Jerry.
Somebody in the rain? Sound like Jerry never in the rain.
Jerry in the rain. Jerry.
The one and only.
One and only Jerry Boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, get ready for an entertaining explosion. Get ready for the avalanche of awesomeness. Get ready to go live with your boy. Here he is, Hoodie Jube.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, get ready for an entertainment explosion. Get ready for an avalanche of awesomeness. Get ready to go live with your boy. Here he is, Hoodie Jube. And make sure and hit the subscribe button for your chance to win tickets to a live New Orleans Saints football game.
OG intro. That was the OG. I want to hit his first one, man.
What's good, fellas?
What's up, Jared? I think honestly, you take out Sean's egotistic side. And because Sean thought he could win with anybody, anybody.
Like, heard us.
I don't need a Jarvis Landry.
We can't do that.
I don't need Michael Thomas fully healthy. You know, I don't need whatever pitch you want to get. I don't know. But
Chris Olave.
I don't need Chris Olave. I'll go and get another
Jared
2 linemen. We get 2 linemen.
Man, hell no, Jared.
Jordan Humphrey.
So
Jared.
you take that.
Talking about Birdie Fingers.
Sean has so much clout, and respectfully so. He has so much clout for this franchise, for being one of the ones, him and Drew Brees and Carmichael and Mickey Loomis coming there. And, we all know the story. Rita comes in, destroys New Orleans, yada, yada, yada. We all know that. And the city resurrected. Well, sometimes you can live a long time with that reputation, but guys like us, it kind of gets old now. It's like, okay, you got that mindset to be this guru and to be this egotistic maniac. And boy, when it works good. But when it doesn't work, it's bad, right? And we felt like that over the last couple of years now. And you're right, we're talking about
last 3 years.
Dennis Allen having that top-ranked defense compared to Sean Payton's pretty much below average to stank defense offense, from last year, below average to stank offense last year. He felt that pressure. He's like, you know what? My time might be up because Dennis Allen is kind of showing me up, and I'm not that guru because I cannot play with just anybody anymore. I can't. Right. I'm not that guy. I'm not that dude. I can't play with these undrafted receivers all across the board or whatever we're playing with. Right? He can't do that. So he kind of feel like, okay, my time might be out. Let me refresh and come back. Whatever. But Dennis Allen, take the egotistic out of Sean. All right, you give Dennis Allen that room to be himself, which is not an egotistic maniac, but is a guy of great character, because now we're hearing it from all across the organization how good of a man this guy is. And like you said, Till, to go to LA to say, we got to have this talk. Straight up. I'll go to you. I'll go to you. We got to have this talk. That takes guts. I don't think Sean Payton doing that.
Put that pride to the side.
Stay your ass in LA.
Yeah. We'll see you when you come. You better come back healthy.
Hey, we good down here, baby.
Allen said, nah. We're not doing that. Because
he started all right, bro.
That stuff, believe it or not, and for sure the believe it part, but it hurts your locker room. Yeah. It becomes an issue. Mm-hmm. It becomes tweets from Michael
Hey, Thomas. You know who interview I like the best, bro? Was Sean? What was what's his name? Cam Jordan interview, bro. What Cam actually said was like, "What are you saying? You don't want to coach me?
You don't want to coach me? That's how I feel too. You don't want to be my coach.
Right. Like, hey, that's that, bro. That's how I felt. Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, you talking about you gonna go back to coaching, but I didn't hear you say you won't come back to coach the Saints.
Right.
And I felt some type of way about that. I know everybody say he did this for New Orleans and this, but I'm letting you know I felt some type of way about that.
I feel you. It was kind of like out the blue slap in the face, but at the same time, I'm gonna say this, dog. Listen, you could have said, okay, I'm gonna take some time off, Sean.
We won, baby.
At my side, you know what I'm saying? Hold it down for me, but you just said, oh, I just don't want to coach you. I don't want to coach y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And a lot of shit that we went through, especially with the NFL, was because of you.
Hey, look, y'all offense ain't been hitting on nothing for the last 3 years anyway. Let's go.
It's just one of those things, LeBlanc, like, man, it's like, look, love what you did for us. We appreciate everything, but it's time to move on.
We good over here. We
It's
straight.
almost like that. All
We great. Jeremy OG, we great.
Oh yeah.
So let's not act like Sean Payton was just this mastermind winning 13, 14 games every damn year.
Right.
The only coach that I know right now can even brag about not having a losing record is Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
That's it. Even Bill Belichick, what, last year, 2 years ago, had a so Mike Tomlin through as much BS he's got on offense and whatever, some bad defenses here and there. He's found a way to get his team above 500 every year. He's the only guy that can speak that fact. Everybody else, look. Let's not act like you would just win 13, 14 games every single year and win the division every year. No, we had some dark times, as in like 7 and 9, 3 straight years in a row. That's dark times.
That was rough. That was rough for us.
We wasted Brees' prime. From that 2012 to about 15 years, that was Drew Brees' prime. Putting up dumb numbers with a sorry ass defense that's predicated on the head coach.
And
I don't care who the defense coordinator was; it's on the head coach.
That's a fact. I'm like, you gotta surround your team with playmakers, man.
Sean Payton cost us a lot of fucking Super Bowls, bro.
Man, he cost us a lot of fucking games.
He wouldn't get that defense right.
Right,
he can do it alone, bro.
Right, just like Nola said, man. That one game where the one where Jameis threw a touchdown and it got called back and he put Taysom. He's like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. How you? That's explain the logic right there.
Just outsmarting everybody, dog. I don't know, man.
Right, that's not out. You're not even outsmarting anything. That's just dumb.
I mean,
all right, that's dumb as hell.
Sean Payton says, I'm gonna create this quarterback challenge between Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and all of us around there like Jameis is gonna win this competition. What are you even doing?
Right.
So you're causing like tension that's unnecessary, right? Because we all know Jameis is gonna win the competition. He's just a better quarterback than Hill. But the egotistic maniac Sean Payton says, I can make this work. Maybe Taysom has a shot. Dennis Allen says, nah, what did Dennis Allen do? Hey, bro.
Right from the beginning. That's it over. That's over.
Right.
Damn it.
And he saw the way he was throwing that damn ball around. He was like, oh, hell no.
Because he a defense. He thinking how he'll stop his ass. This shit is easy. Look at it. I don't want this guy.
For real.
Hey, I tell you what, boy, when we saw that playoff game by Jameis, it was like, that's it. That's it.
You saw that big spoiler.
That's it.
I'm going to tell you this, dog. Sean Payton and that defense, and the difference between Drew Brees and Tom Brady is top 10 defense. That's the only difference between Drew Brees and Tom Brady is top 10 defense. That's the only difference. They like to give him that GOAT status, but this is not boxing. This is not the Marines is a team. It's a team, team effort. Tell me how many times Tom Brady won the Super Bowl without a top 10. Tell me that. Tom Brady stayed an extra 4-5 years just to break Drew records, so y'all don't bring that in my face.
You already know that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You already know that's true.
100% fact.
All right, Drew ain't giving no fuck about that. He was like, man, I got a family to take care of.
No, Drew wanted them records. That's why Drew stayed so long. Like, don't get it twisted. Drew cared about his records.
Yeah, he loved his records.
But he loved the records, but he's not a damn maniac. Because if he was, he would have came back.
Yes, he is. If Drew can throw that bitch 45 yards, he'll still be here. I promise.
Tom Brady came back. Tom Brady came back because the Saints owned.
Look, can I say this right here? We can talk about records. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. The only thing that I'm caring about for the New Orleans Saints is wins, playoff wins, and Super Bowls.
That's it.
Who cares about a record? Okay, yippee yay. Okay, we talking about wins. We talking about playoff wins and Super Bowls. That's the only thing. That's on my mind.
You need regular game wins to even get to, so it's not like you can just.
Steps. We got to worry about. We got to worry about winning the division, playoffs.
We can talk about records all we want, bro. All I care about is regular season wins, playoff wins, and Super Bowls. That's it.
Oh, not a regular season in there. Damn.
But it don't matter.
Hey. It
don't matter. How the hell we gonna get to the season? How we gonna get to the playoffs if it don't matter? Explain that one to me. You can't take that away.
Think about it, bro.
That's like saying you can have a baby without a liver. That don't make no sense.
Every time playoff time come up, look, hold on. Every time the playoffs come around, every year, y'all know we love to be in the playoffs. Y'all know that. But every time we always sit our asses at the house and watch these other teams win a Super Bowl and not us.
Hey, who feel like it's different this year? Who feel like it's different?
Yeah, we all.
I feel like it's different, son.
I feel like it's
well, yeah.
I felt
like it was different last year. We stay here.
It's multiple reasons why. It's multiple reasons why we ain't get those them championships at those times.
With the acquisitions that we got, we at least 3 to 4 games better than what we was last year.
100%.
Come on, man.
If you win 9 games. You win 9 games with a below average offense. Just imagine now you got
we win 9 games with Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, and Ian Book. I don't want to hear nothing. Bro.
Callaway, Traquan Smith, Chris Hogan,
Lil Jordan Humphrey.
You guys say
Look, Kevin White.
Oh
no! Don't talk to me.
Don't even name him. You can't name him.
The whole team celebrate because you catch a pass. Oh, I don't want him in here.
You can't name him.
We was all celebrating on that.
You can't say his name. Kevin White is the GOAT. You cannot say his name. No, don't ever say his name. No, one catch. That's when you go get called. One catch.
Hey, it's getting better days, man. I just want to say it, man. It's getting better
days.
That's
crazy. And Kenny Stills. Let's not forget about him.
And how excited we was to get Kenny. Oh, we got Kenny Stills. We good now.
Bro, he disappointed so bad. Bro, Kenny Stills disappointed horribly, bro.
I think Kenny Stills might have been one of the biggest disappointments of the year. We was excited. It was one of those.
Bro, he was look, they did the stats on him.
I can't even say he is. That's Traquan, man.
Traquan really wasn't healthy, like a lot of the thing. But
man, yes, he was. That man was healthy as he could be, man. Ain't nobody want to give him that.
He started on the injury reserve for a little minute, and he just wasn't the same. But
look, as long as they got Michael Thomas, Traquan Smith as the number 2, we'll be all right.
Hey, number 2. No.
Hey, can I say something about Traquan Smith real quick? Hold on, let me say this real quick.
That's either going to be Jarvis or Chris Olave.
I just stayed on the
it's going to be Chris Olave, bro.
Hey, I'll tell you what Traquan Smith can do.
He can block.
What that was? I ain't hear that. What that was? What it say? OG, I couldn't hear. What it said?
It said.
Damn, I just need you to repeat it.
I know.
Get the hell out. That's Traquan Smith.
I'm man. I love you guys, man. I'm about to dip out, man. You guys are awesome, man. Much love to y'all, man.
Thank you a lot. All
good, man. Good to see you.
Love to you.
Man. Love
you guys. Uneducated.
Great energy, bro. Hoodie, much love to you, Hoodie, bro. I was about to do the same thing, man. Wifey just came, about to spend some time with the fam, man.
Same thing. I got that knock on that door.
Yeah.
I gotta go, yeah.
So I appreciate y'all so much, man. Hoodie, man. It's been an awesome time, man. I had a great time with Jameis 1 of 1 and then the panel, man. I'm just excited about this year, man. Like again, man, y'all subscribe to NOLA Bros if you haven't, man. We go live. We cover the Saints and the Pelicans. It's 4 of us, man. We have a great time. It's love, man. Y'all gonna love the energy, everything. Go live for the games too, man. Watch parties. We cut up, man. So I just want to appreciate you, Hoodie, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bro.
No problem, man. It was fun doing it with you, like always. Like we said on the last show when we did me and Ross Jackson and them. We all need to start doing a little bit more. Remember, we all talked about it. We all need to start doing this more.
Yes, sir.
I think it'll be more fun. I think on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 20th. Yeah, that Ross Jackson hit me up earlier today. He said on the 20th he wants to try to, do a podcast with me again. So, I'll see if y'all available on the 20th again, so we can all do that again.
For sure. Hit me up, bro. Hit me up, man. Hit me up.
I definitely will.
Yes, indeed, man. So
yeah. So make sure y'all
holler at you, man. Yes,
my
indeed,
dog,
man.
chill.
Much love, Slim South.
All right,
baby.
fellas.
Gee, man. Much love to y'all, man. I holler, man.
Yep.
Hey, don't forget before we go, y'all. Don't forget, y'all. We like that.
We like
that.
that.
Love to y'all,
yes,
man.
Much love to y'all.
Yes, sir.
Hey, who that, everybody?
I'm out of here too, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is. Uneducated Sports Talk, man. We just do live commentary, play-by-play reaction for our streams. We do baseball, football, basketball. All the time. I'm diehard New Orleans Saints fan. That's why I always love coming on the Hoodie Jube Show and showing love, man. Hoodie, man, thank you for the platform that you have for all these guys, man. And you're only getting bigger and bigger and better every single show, every stream, man. I love you, bro. Keep it going on. If you guys that have not liked that like button yet, smash that like button, man. And we are out, man. Me and PJ got to roll out, man. But, Uneducated Sports Talk.
Hey, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on before you roll out. Before y'all roll out, what we're gonna do? We're just gonna end the show here. So you know how we always end the show with the Hoodats and stuff. So thank you to everybody that was tuning in. Thank you, Jameis 101, for coming on the show again, especially the Nola Bros. Thank you all right now on the panel that's talking with us right now. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for y'all super chats that sent to them. It's Megan that sent the $7.99 one. Who that to y'all?
Megan?
But make sure y'all tune in about 2 hours. Around 10 o'clock p.m., I'm having another collab with a new Saints YouTuber he probably started about 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. His name is Saints Talk, live from New York. His name is Brandon. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him. But we're gonna have a little talk tonight as well and collab. So make sure y'all tune in to that one.
Well, look, Hoodie, man. Let me go ahead and plug this in, Hoodie, man, before you go.
Yeah, plug it in.
After Hoodie get off, man, I'm running another Saints Sports Talk. It's straight gutter. Let's get it. Let's get it. Look, I ain't trying to make no money off of this. Let's get it.
Let's go.
I'll run the one right after this, you heard me?
But with that being said, everybody, make sure you smack that like button on your way out if y'all haven't already. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of these great podcasts we do, on the great giveaways such as NFL tickets giveaways, money giveaways, jersey giveaways, you name it. And also donations that we do to children's hospitals and, food banks and etc. We do all kind of donations. So make sure y'all subscribe and turn on your notifications so y'all don't miss out. But with that being said, make sure y'all be ready for about 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time for the next collab with my boy Saints Talk, live from New York. And always, what do we always tell everybody on the way out? Who what?
Who that?
Who that?
Who that, baby?
See y'all later.
All right, man. Look for that.
Mike Thomas catching everything, so you know he cold. The defense elite. D. Davis coming through the line, boy, take a seat. Lattimore in the backfield, so you know that's me. Don't be talking Pyromatic, we talking Marcus May. We in the backfield, we gon' make a pay. Them boys hitting hard, they need an X-ray. Yeah. We.
Hoodie